Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back.
How's it going, John?
Crime Analysis 101 with Detective John and Jeff. What's going on, Jeff?
Not too much. Not too much. Good to see everybody. Good to see you.
Good to see everyone. Another day
Good
in
to be
paradise. Glad you got to see me.
Got to see me.
So, I want to cover something real quick with everyone. And I want everybody to understand why I'm going down this road. You know, there's people that are like, you know, it's kind of taboo to talk about other creators, blah, blah, blah. Well, I disagree. Because I think we've come to an impasse. You know, we're all not, everybody just gets to say what they want to say. And, you know, I'm going to say it. The more outrageous you can be, the more crazy comments you can make. It's almost like, you know, it is like, I know why they're doing it, because they're smart. So the most outrageous thing you can think of to say is going to get you clicks. Because it's almost like having a reality show. It's pretty disgusting, actually. So, since I've become involved in the true crime community, I've just witnessed things and listened to things being said that are just so wrong. And people actually think and become this animated fairy tale of a person. As soon as they sit down and their butts down in this chair and they get behind this camera and this microphone, they become whoever they want to be. A lot of them have always wanted to be an attorney. So once they sit their butts down in this chair, poof, they become attorneys. And the sad thing is, people will listen to them and they actually start believing that these fake people who exude confidence because now they have an audience that does nothing but compliments them all day long. You're the greatest. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. That's so true. When really, they haven't the foggiest what they're talking about. But they're selling themselves. And you know, I've used the word ignorant before. And people take it out of context. Ignorant does not mean stupid. It just means that you're not versed on the topic. So there's a lot of ignorant people out here who, when they hear something coming from somebody behind a camera and a microphone, it must be true. Because the demographic of people that are listening, you know, they're not generally a bunch of kids right now. They're still middle-aged people like myself that grew up listening to the regular media. So to them, perception is reality. So that guy sitting behind that camera and that microphone that I'm watching on this screen must have credibility, or that lady must have credibility. But if you ever noticed, I want you all to think about this for a minute. Most of these so-called creators don't ever debate anyone. They just get up and they get on their soapbox and they say what they want to say, and they laugh and they get in chat, but they don't debate. So here's my challenge. Every single one of you that thinks you know it all, you know how a crime scene is investigated, you know how evidence is tagged and badged, you know the processes of the court system, you know how it all works, you know how to write a search warrant, you know how to, you know, walk through warrants, you know how to, you know, to contact judges, you know how to write a PCA, you know how to attend depositions, you know how to win a case and put one together. Come on. If you're a creator and you've got a show out there, like I'll use Harsh, for example. Hello. Aren't you all beautiful today? That's how he starts his shows off. Positive, right? Oh, aren't you looking lovely today? He's patronizing. He's manipulating. He's saying what people want to hear. So they love him, right? But he gets to spew whatever he wants to spew. He talks about my country, your country, our legal systems. He mocks our whole system, makes fun of us all the time. And the sad thing is, he's got Americans on his show sending him money. It's pathetic, really. I mean, it's pathetic. Sent him multiple invites. He's one of the first ones I've been inviting. Hey, buddy, come on. I won't bite your head off. Come on over to the show, or I'll come to your show. And we can talk about your concerns. We can debate. I mean, you think you're right all the time. You're this, you read a book, so you must know something. But the truth is, everyone, 90% of these creators aren't qualified to opine on any of this stuff. They're really not. And they're spreading disinformation, and they're impeding in investigations. They think that they can just spew whatever they want to spew and make all these allegations, and it's no big deal. You know, we're just on the internet. It is a big deal. It's a huge deal. These police departments don't appreciate it. These investigators don't appreciate it. It really does hurt investigations when you have all of this false garbage being spewed out there. Oh, we just want justice. No, you don't. You just want somebody to take their mouse and subscribe to you and send you super chats and all this money. Most of the time, people just sit here for the first hour, some of them, and just read off names. And people are just waiting on them to, oh, he's about to say my name. Here's $25. Say my name. Say my name, Dago. Oh, hey, Mindy. How's your dog today? I'm glad. Oh, you didn't have to do that, honey. I appreciate you so much. And then he'll go into his crazy conspiracy crap. It bothers me. It bothers me because here we have, and we're going to talk about the Kohberger case, because who else is there to talk about really right now? There's a bunch of cases. I would rather be talking about the two other serial killers that they just recently arrested. But, we got to talk about the Kohberger case. So, the conspiracy theories are thick. They're wrong. And it's just sad to me. So why am I doing this? It's not to personally attack them. I mean, I'll make fun of them a little bit. I'll have some fun. They can make fun of me. I don't care. I got thick skin. But there's got to be some accountability. And all of you, I want you to post in chat what you truly feel about this person we're going to talk about tonight. Because I'll tell you, I've got well over probably about 200 emails from people that just have the unbelievable, utmost disdain for this person. I mean, they absolutely, I hate to use the word hate, but they hate her. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because she makes stuff up. She acts like she's an attorney. She thinks she's an attorney, in my opinion. I'll actually even play her saying that. Every case that she ever looks at, the person's innocent. Watts, he was innocent. That was disgusting what she did. We won't go into that, but she mocked Shannon Watts. It was horrible. You guys can look that stuff up yourself. I'm not going to waste everyone's time. Most of you have seen it. That's why you have so much disdain for her. I think it's time that someone challenges these people. They shouldn't be able to say this stuff. Everybody's got the First Amendment right. You got a right to wear a swastika and fly a swastika flag on your house if you want to, but should you? So should you say the things that you say because you have a platform and you can say them? Should you accuse dead people of being drug addicts and living in a drug house and being prostitutes online and making money and buying new cars because they're into prostitution? Because that's what this woman suggests. She's actually suggested this stuff. It's really disturbing. And what's even more disturbing is, 40,000 followers, and to watch some of the chat. Are we really here? Are we here? Are we at this point in America that we can actually have no common sense? Do we have so much disdain for law enforcement or anything of authority that we would do just about anything to discredit them? I listened to one the other day. Calls himself a sergeant. He literally said, and I have it, and we're going to play it, not tonight, but we're going to play it. Literally said, I hope he gets off on a technicality It'll teach America a lesson. That's what he said. So he hopes that a man that committed, allegedly, a quadruple homicide gets off on a technicality and walks. Truly, that's what I think all of them want. They really want Brian C. Kohberger to walk on a technicality. That's pathetic. That's sad. Makes me question, where we are today as a society. We're all keyboard tough guys and tough girls. Where's morality today? Where is it? Where's God today? I mean, are we that cynical of a people today? I just don't understand it. I've got my 15-year-old son sitting next to me, and he's like, wow. I was playing some of the video. He says, "Did she just say that, Dad? What is she thinking?" I want all of you to think about what I'm saying tonight. If this show could go for 8 hours tonight. I've got that much stuff. I could actually run this show for probably 3 days on this one person. But you know what? I'm not going to bore you. I'm not going to play all this stuff because you know what? A lot of you are chiming in because you know that I'm going to cover this person. So you already know what she's done. You already know her character. And everything that I say is my opinion. Everything that you guys post in chat is your opinion. But I'm gonna show some facts here. And it really is up to you guys. It's up to you people to put the pressure on these poor excuses for creators, because they're not creators. You know what they are? They're wannabe entertainers. They're reality stars because they've created their own little reality show with outlandish comments, with no regard for anybody or anything, for greed. Most of them don't even have jobs. They sit behind this computer screen all day long. Not saying anybody that's on disability shouldn't be on disability, but you know how that is. A lot of you know what I'm talking about. It's called double dipping. It's actually illegal. You can only make so much money. Some of these other creators are making in excess of $100,000 a year. One creator that he just mysteriously poof came back today that owes over $50,000 in back child support. Actually, I'm waiting on a video for an update on that. I'm waiting on a video from Lana and his wife and little Austin Jr. And they're supposedly going to send me a video here pretty soon, and we'll play that video. And it's just basically thanking everyone that sent them their mother some money so that she could buy some school clothes for the kids and supplies. So we're going to do better. We'll get them some more stuff around Christmas time, their birthdays and stuff like that. But anyway, I just want to let you all know that I'm fighting the good fight. I mean, I get these nasty grams. Leave him alone. Leave her alone. Why do you got to mess with her? Because I can. because I should. Because I know the difference between right and wrong, and I know what they're doing is wrong. They say, we're seeking justice. We just want the truth. No, you don't. You don't want the truth. You just want money. Because this is your career. This is what you do. This isn't what I do. This is a hobby for me. I enjoy it. I don't care what people think. I don't care what people say. People have made outlandish lies up about me. They've attacked me. Last I heard, I'm a fake cop with a fake badge, with fake this, fake that. My whole life is fake. I'm a convicted felon. Can't have a gun. I carry a gun every day. I mean, never been convicted of felony in my life. I don't even have a traffic ticket. But because they can say it, it must be true. Because they can sit behind this, or they can sit behind this keyboard, it must be true. Well, Michael Politis is my attorney, and he'll be on this show. And two of those people going to be hearing from him. It's already in the works. I just got to go sign it. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go over a few things that this creator, and we'll call her Lana. So Lana has a show called Truth, and Transparency. Transparency I could see, but truth? Come on, Lana. You don't spew any truth. So it's just one big conspiracy. I mean, I've listened to her say some stuff. I've just got a little bit of, it's nothing great, just a few things here and there. And she likes to say bam or boom or something all the time. That's her thing. When she sees something, she does this nails on a chalkboard, just crazy laugh, and then that's what she does right before she drops the bomb on whatever she's going to say. Here's an example right here. So traffic lights, what people, and most of you don't know this. Most of you think that when you go to an intersection, you see those cameras on top of the traffic lights, or the poles that hold the traffic lights, across the road. They think that those cameras are traffic cameras, that they're recording you. 90% of the time they're not. Now, your red light cameras are fixed to the poles at the intersection. They're, the poles that come up from the ground, and they're fixed there. They're usually boxes, and they got a bunch of cameras, and you'll see a flash at night when you go through the intersection. Those are red light cameras. The other cameras are real-time cameras for the most part. Now, in New York City and major cities, those where you've got a propensity for terroristic activity, yes, those traffic lights generally will be not only real time, but they will be DVR recording, and you can get data from it. But Moscow, Idaho, those little podunk intersections out in the country with those lights, that's not what those are. So what they are is, like, the dispatch center will have a bunch of cameras or a bunch of monitors in there, and those cameras are getting different angles of the intersection. So they have real-time videos. So if somebody calls in, let's call a signal for an accident, they'll look at it and they'll say, okay, there's no signal 16, which is blockage in a roadway. That's our 10 system here, our 10 code system. So we don't need to dispatch unit code 3. Doesn't look like there's any injuries. Just, they're off the roadway. They're good to go. On the other hand, if they look up and they get a call and they say, yeah, there's a signal 4, signal 16, looks like injuries. We need to roll code 3, rescue, fire, everything. We need to get the signal 16 cleared. We need to roll a couple units for traffic. That's what those cameras are. They also are Department of Transportation cameras, and the DOT utilizes them to cycle lights sometimes. Just depends on what city you're in. But they also, if you ever notice when you pull up to a stop bar, you'll see little cuts in the road, and there's a pad under there. Well, that pad is designed to trip the light. So when you get on it, it knows there's a car there, so it'll cycle through quicker. Now, a lot of those cameras are smart cameras. So they are actually cycling the light, and they're not using the pad system as much anymore.
John,
you
don't know what the weight limit on those pads are, do you? Because I used to have a Mazda Miata, and I'd pull up to lights like that, and I think I was under the weight limit. Now I'm a big guy. I thought maybe that would offset it. But I'd pull up in my Miata, and I'd just sit there, and sometimes it would seem like it would be another car would come up. Then it would change. The light would change.
Well, the way they work, I mean, if there's still traffic flowing the other direction and it's constantly going over that, and you're one car sitting on it, and there's not one car sitting on the opposite side of the intersection, it won't cycle. It'll just do the time cycle like normal. But if you have you're parked on there and the guy across from you is parked on there, then it's gonna and we're not having any traffic go by, then it'll trip that cycle sooner. That's what they're designed to do.
I see.
And the new systems are actually smart camera systems. So the cameras are actually reading, the traffic flow so that they know to go through. So what I'm going to show you here is Miss Know-It-All, Lana, she knows everything. So she's trying to strum up this conspiracy theory that the cops must have done this. There was 2 cops out working that night, and they were working in an undercover capacity. Now, what that's called is, so let's say you're in a college town. So, of course, on a Friday night, you got a bunch of parties. So you don't get in a marked car, you get in an unmarked car, and you want to go out, and we call it directed patrol. So if we have an area that is a high crime area, then you'll have guys that are answering calls. So let's say you have 10 guys on in that particular zone that night. So 4 of those guys will be on directed patrol, and the other 6 will be 10-8 for service. That means in service. That means they're going to answer calls as they come in. If they get domestic calls, they're going to go to those calls. They get traffic accidents, they're going to go to those calls. But the 4 that are on directed patrol are supposed to go out there and generate arrest. It's called self-initiated arrest. Now, typically the guys that are on the perimeter riding aren't your young gung-ho guys. They're the guys that are going to go in, they're going to punch their clock, they're going to answer the calls, and they're going to go home. But your young guys are guys that are self-initiated, that like to go out there and fight crime and self-initiate crime, look for crime, are the ones that you would put on that directed patrol unit. So now I'm not positive, but that is what this probably is. If they've got 2 guys in an unmarked car dressed in all black, they're designed to go out there and catch underage drinking or, people smoking weed or doing drugs or whatever. They'll go out and they'll actually park somewhere and they'll walk. It's dark. You got that band field right there. People will walk out there and they'll just wait for somebody to come out, and they'll pop out, hit them with flashlights. Hey, you got your ID, you're drinking, you're underage drinking, stroke you a $350 ticket. Bye-bye. Or they may run into something else. You never know. That's directed patrol. They're not detectives. They're just out there trying to catch bad guys. Not really bad guys, but they got a job to do. You can't let it get out of hand. You can't let, minors run around drinking all night long. You got to go out there and police it. So that's what these 2 cops were doing. But Lana, no, because they're in a white sedan and they're driving around the same time that the Elantra was driving around. She's trying to paint this picture that there's a possibility, because these two cops were gone for like, they're off the radar for like 15 minutes. Where were they? She's saying, where were they at? Implying, and that's what she's doing, everyone, implying that Brian C. Kohberger can't be our guy because these people are driving a white sedan too, and around the same time, because it lines up with the PCA. So two cops must have did it. Listen up. It's pretty funny. She's serious. She's 100% serious. Because in her mind, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. She takes it to extreme. That's what she does. And she, in my opinion, is doing nothing but looking for technicalities to get people off like she's an actual attorney. In her mind, in my opinion, she actually does believe that when she sits down in this chair, behind that camera, behind this mic, she is Attorney Lana. She really believes it, in my opinion. I'm sure from the emails that I've gotten, I'm sure when I go back and I read this chat, you're all going to agree. There's something wrong, in my opinion. And you guys will see with some of the stuff. And there's a court case that I'm going to play where she was actually before a judge, and the judge hands her ass. One of the greatest moments I've seen with her on the monitor. But we're going to go ahead and play this one, and that's what this is. She's showing us an intersection, and she goes, "Oh, look, did you see that? Bam, bam, boom." Because there's cameras up there, and she's implying that those cameras are going to exonerate her client, Brian C. Kohberger, because it's going to prove that those cops were there. Let's watch it, Tanner.
Look at that right there. Traffic cam. Can you see that? Oh, look at boom, boom, boom,
Boom. Oh my goodness. We got traffic cams. Guess what, Lana? Newsflash. Those are real-time cameras. They're not recording. Do your research before you spew garbage. You have no idea what you're talking about. You have no idea about anything, to be honest with you. And a judge will pretty much wrap that up for us here in a little bit too. You have no credibility. You have no business. I like to use the word opine because that's what you're doing. You're just throwing your opinions out there because you think you know everything. Jeff, what do you think, buddy?
Well, you know, one thing I was just noticing, Crime Solver had a question for you about the cops in the Sedan. Well, he's asking, or if he said, wait, so I'm assuming sorry if I'm wrong. Wait, so they aren't cops. Who do they work for? Some of the folks on cams appear to not be known officers. Thank you. That was the question. So the officers in the Sedan, I guess I was asking if they're actual cops, or were they college officers from a university, or?
Well, if you remember, where the white sedan, which was probably a Taurus, I think, a white Ford Taurus, I can't remember, was parked on the side of the road, and they were in contact with some kids drinking in the field. Do you remember?
Right.
Remember that? Okay. So they were plain clothes officers. They were directed patrol. Now they have a badge. It's probably down here, or it might be underneath their jacket or somewhere where they can identify themselves. So they'll for lack of a better term, they'll just sneak up on these kids, or they'll sneak up on a drug corner. I did it all the time. I climbed up in trees, and I was talking to my boys, relaying where they were hiding the dope. My boys would roll up. Everybody would be like, what the hell's going on? How'd they know where the dope was? They'd bail out. They'd find the dope. They'd hook up some people, and we'd roll out. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. Same concept here. It's unmarked units. They don't seem to be known because they're not in uniform. A lot of these guys, you could see me walking down the road when I was a cop on the street, and you'd see me the next day in plain clothes and not even recognize me because I'm not in uniform. People see the uniform. So who are they? They're the directed patrol. They're out there to get stats. They're out there to make arrests. They're out there to show their presence. That's what they are.
But they are cops. They are actual cops. They're just plain clothes cops.
They are cops. And
maybe
like
that's kind of the idea.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's kind of the idea, is that you don't want them known. It's just like no, it's just like what it is. They're plain clothes. They're probably predominantly always plain clothes, right? Because maybe there's some people that actually take pictures. They keep record of people that are known officers. So these guys need to kind of keep a lay low and not be known or to be recognized, as police officers.
If they're on midnight shift, and usually they rotate shifts. They'll run an 8-week cycle. Okay, so you'll be on day shift or a 12-week cycle, whatever. That some departments do it different. 3 months they'll be on day shift, then they'll move to mid shift, then they'll move to midnight shift, and they rotate through. So a lot of departments don't do that at all. You're on day shift. You want to be on day shift, you're on day shift. You're on midnight, you stay on midnights. You work, whatever shift, 410s, 312s, whatever. So the directed patrol guys, their job is to go out there and generate activity, create arrest, but the element of surprise is what they want. So of course you can't be rolling up in there in a marked unit. You can see a marked unit coming down the road any time of the night. So they have an unmarked car, and they rolled up in an unmarked car, and they bailed out. They walked up on some kids, and they made contact. It's called a field interview, a field contact. They wrote their names down. I don't remember if they wrote citations or not. But generally the cops are pretty cool, and they're going to handle, they're going to walk up on the big parties. They're going to walk up, they'll have badge in hand ready to display it to ID themselves. But the element of surprise, you're not going to have people screaming, 5050 or popo or whatever they scream in Idaho, because the element of surprise, you walk up on them, you're part of the party. So yes, they're police officers. So what Lana has done here is, once again, she's created this, bam, I figured this out. This is all me. Look at that. This case is over because we got these cops on camera. People believe it. People buy it. If you watch her chat in this, let's see, I can see her. Yes. Yeah, I caught the live. I love your work, Lana. Let's see. There's just all kinds of stuff in here where they compliment her on her great work. It's all BS. It's all for clicks. It's all to support her big lie that she's put out there for everyone. She wants, in my opinion, she wants this man to get off on a technicality.
Well, see right there, John, what you just did, you said, in my opinion. I think that's what's lacking, in my opinion, with some of these YouTubers, is that it's just expressed as fact, and they know what they're talking about, and they don't hide their hate for the police. Clearly, I mean, when I listen to them, I almost want to stop and say, hey, just tell me what bad experience you had with the police. I mean, they clearly have wronged you, or there's some reason you don't trust them, or like when somebody breaks into your house, what do? You call DoorDash, and maybe you trust DoorDash to help you more than a police officer coming that's every day goes out knowing they might not return home. They're putting their lives on the line for some really ungrateful people sometimes, and that's the thing. Perception is everything. So when you watch her, what is your perception? This chick knows what she's talking about because she's very confident. You're talking about a D1, a Division I basketball player right here. She's been told her whole life that she's the greatest. She's been I'm involved in sports. I've coached. I've got, my son went on a baseball scholarship. I mean, I know what it's like. I know her persona. I know what she's like. I'm like that. I'm confident. Nothing wrong with that. But I can back up what I say. She can't. Because 90% of what she says, in my opinion, and I can argue with her, is wrong. So let's keep going here.
Boom.
Boom. There's that laugh. Boom. That's what she does, everyone. So that's her condescending, smug. I got you. I got you now. Moscow PD. All the other agencies. I'm Lana. I got this case. I work for AT. We're going to destroy your case.
Yeah, isn't the laugh a little bit like when I used to watch the Andy Griffith show, Barney Fife, Barney Fife would, but that was the intent. Barney Fife was intentionally a bad police officer. I mean, he's related to Andy Griffith, so he gave him a chance, let him stay on the police. But that's the same kind of laugh you would have. And it really, really, I mean, to me, it comes across as disdain for the police. And the thing is that I imagine she feels justified because in her mind, or at least for her audience, she feels that she has proof, or that she's 100% sure of their Barney Fife-ness, if you will.
Oh yeah, every cop to her is an idiot.
But again, I say, I mean, I've said it many times. It's just the way I feel. While we all assumed it was one of the jacks that did this, I really feel like law enforcement said, hold my beer. And they went to work and they did. I would have never thought they would have found the guy the way they did, all the way. And we've talked about this too, because a lot of people say, well, why didn't they arrest him sooner? Why didn't they just grab him? Why didn't they grab his DNA from like earlier? Why didn't they grab him right there next day? I mean, tell me if I'm no law enforcement officer, but is it possible that to arrest him right then, I mean, maybe they don't have the right guy. Maybe they wanted to be sure they had the right guy. Maybe that says something to their respecting a citizen's rights to not just mow on through and arrest the guy right away. Maybe they wanted to be sure. And I imagine too, it's like, well, maybe they didn't have any DNA that they could really be sure about. I often wondered, like in the Indiana traffic stop, the officer, I mean, I thought it was a funny answer. Maybe they weren't even intending to go to go get Thai food. But the officer asked, where are you headed? You're on a big old highway. Where are you headed? Oh, we're going to get some Thai food. Oh, that didn't sound. Now I'm sounding like I'm interjecting what my beliefs are on what that sounded like, but that's just my opinion. I'm just saying it's my opinion. I don't know for sure. I'm not going to shove it down anybody's throat and say this is what's going on. I know, I know that's what was going on. No, that Thai. Anyway, long story short, here's what I'm thinking. Do you think that if they were following him at that point, they were trying to get DNA? Do you think they went to that Thai restaurant? Do you think they tried to, did they watch him walk out of there and it's like everything that he touched or put his mouth on, he took with him? He took his trash with him. He didn't put it in a trash can. Were there many instances of that?
Right. Here's what I said from the very beginning, Jeff. The one thing that is going to do him in is the car. Okay. The car is going to be his demise. And the reason why I know that the car will have always been his demise is because of these things you're seeing right here. Although they're recording real time, there are a plethora of them in these businesses that record and save. So we know, based on surveillance footage, that a white Elantra was within the area. So they know a lot more than we know. But here's the problem. Everyone is putting their eggs in the PCA. The PCA is nothing, everyone. The PCA probably represents about 3% of the evidence in this case. Might even be less than that. The only thing that a PCA is for is a probable cause affidavit. So when you have a statute and you have the elements for that state statute that have to be met. So basically, all I have to do is say, John walked into the room with a Glock 9, pulled it out from his waistband, pointed it at victim 1, fired it, pointed it at victim 2, fired it, turned around and walked out. There were no witnesses that survived, but video surveillance captured S1. We got him under arrest. But guess what? All the investigative techniques that went into getting that go into an incident report. This is what ignorance this woman is spewing out there, because, and many others, Dago, they think that PCA, he screamed the other day, he got on his soapbox, it's got to stop. We can't let this happen. He demanded to know answers. Guess what, Lana? Guess what, Dago? You don't get the answers till trial. A. B, there's a gag order. But these people spew these lies, cast this doubt, throw gasoline on fires of disdain that we already have toward law enforcement. And they make money all day doing it. And they prey on these people. They're kind of, it's amazing to me, because it takes a manipulative person to be able to do this. And they've gotten really good at it. And the whole time they'll just patronize you. They'll get to know all their viewers. And they'll say, "Oh, how's your dog? Is your mom okay? Oh, darling, you didn't have to give me $25, but thank you." That's what it's become. It's not about true crime. It's not about figuring this out. It's about creating dialogue. It's about being a family. So we can all get on and just have this good old time and chat. Really? It's pretty pathetic. If that's what your world is, you don't have much of a life. If you have to sit around on a computer all day and watch these, whatever you want to call them, spew their lies, and that gets you through your day, I suggest you read a book.
Well, John, one of the things that one of the, because I mean, it hasn't been all that long that I've been into true crime and even used YouTube in this manner, or even followed anyone on YouTube, unless they were musicians or something. But I did enjoy a good, healthy debate. And I saw Crime Solver mention that, he likes Dago, conflicted maybe a little. I was the same way. I mean, I wasn't the last show you did. I wasn't here because I knew that Dago was a target, and I didn't feel good about that. I didn't want to be here for that, right?
Dago wasn't a target.
Well, not a target, but he was this one of the subject matter, and at the time I was priding myself. I had been blocked by five YouTubers. I'd gotten down to just one. And that one is now no longer friends with Dago. I thought I could get all of them, but I knew I was pretty sure he wasn't going to budge. But I liked being able to go on and have a debate with people that I maybe disagree with. And I could always do it like respectfully. And then unfortunately, they couldn't return that all the time. And a lot of times It was the mods. The mods would say, hey, here comes somebody with a different opinion. Let's poke him a bit. Get him riled up. I learned that pretty quickly. Like, you get him riled up and then he'll say something. And then the YouTuber looks over and says, hey, what's going on? It's like a teacher in an elementary school. What's going on over there? Jeff, are you causing trouble? That's exactly what I heard. Jeff, you must be, get Jeff out of here.
And then you're timed out and booted.
And then the mods are like, got him.
Yeah.
So then I learned, I think I went on another show, just completely ignored those mods because you could tell what they were doing. But long story short, what I wanted to say was that I'm not so, their existence and their spewing the stuff that they're spewing, I saw it as a platform to go in to these chats, have a conversation with them, and try to debate. And I don't know, did I ever really do anything? Did I ever push the ball down the field at all? I don't know.
No. You know what, Jeff? Because they have an agenda. You're going against their agenda. You're going against their narrative. If you're not with them, you're against them. And it's like I said the other day. The truth is, it's truly us against them. It really is. Sorry to say that, people. I'm just being real. It's good versus evil. And I'll say that too. Because we're on the good side. We would like to see the criminal justice system put a guy in jail, put him in prison, put him to death, whatever, based on the preponderance of the evidence. And we would like it to go smooth and not have anybody spewing lies. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't question some things. We all should. But not the way these people do it. Not to spin this crazy narrative that I mean, they actually believe that Brian Kohberger's an innocent man and that knife sheath was, as Ann Taylor said, she uses words, placed on the bed.
Now, how many people would have opportunity to place it? I don't think the victims placed it. I don't think the killer placed it. Who would
No.
who does that?
Come on, Jeff.
What,
Come on, Jeff. You know
what
what
picture does
happened.
you
You
conjure
know what
up?
happened.
That's
You know what happened, Jeff. Billy Bob, and Billy Joe said, hey man, you know that guy that Cindy pulled over the other day, that smart ass from Pennsylvania. I didn't like that boy too much. You know, he was giving her hell about that. You know, when he was out there in the middle of that intersection, he was giving her hell. I
Never
rolled up
seen a
on there.
crosswalk.
I told him to knock it off, and he just kept on running his gator. I'll tell you what. Hey, you're taking some courses there at the university. Why don't you? Hey, you got your K-bar knife? It's in the trunk of your car, right? Oh yeah. Hey, take your sheath. Go on up to him at the university because you got some courses. You go up there and say, hey, Mr. Kohberger, I really want to take your, I'm trying to advance myself in the department, so I got to take some criminal justice classes. So I'm going to be taking, your curriculum next semester. So I just wanted to introduce myself. Oh, damn it. By the way, oh shit, I forgot. I'm trying to get this snap undone on this K-bar knife. I can't do it. I'm too weak. Can you open this for me? Because I got to put my knife back in it. It keeps falling out because I can't snap it. Sure, man. Oh, thank you very much.
He said crosswalks I know nothing of, but snap, I can handle
Runs
that.
back to his car, flies back to the house, runs upstairs, gets by all the crime scene techs, runs back upstairs and says, hey, Billy Bob, I'm gonna keep guard you. Hey, place that knife sheath right there. I got that boy's knife. I got his DNA on that male-female snap. Jeff. Case solved. That's what happened, buddy. And we got the video cameras. We got the video cameras in the intersection to prove that cop went there and did that because we got him going there and we got him coming back. You know why? Because she says so. That's how it is. It's how ridiculous these people are. It really is. All right, so let's move on here.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Hey, let's go. All right. So right here, Rosendahl and Josh Tisdale turn into this complex.
So she's talking about the two directed patrol officers. Now, it's not during the daytime. She just got the video during the daytime, but she's going to try and lay the seed here that these two cops, they're the ones that did this. I'm not kidding you.
And they have to travel a bit back in through there to where they come to a guy named Cade at 331. But we're going to back it up even further, which is before this, and you can walk on back here or drive on back here. And when they look at that right there.
All right. So let's move on to the next one here. Tanner, where's it? All right.
Right there, this is what we're referring to. Let's see if it popped up for you guys. Yes.
What she's trying to do here is she's trying to line up the PCA, because in the PCA they talk about this intersection having a white sedan go through. They don't say it's a lot, it's a white, but they imply that it's Kohberger's. What she's trying to say, well, it could have been his because it's these cops. Now, do you not think they would have known that it was their own vehicle? But listen.
A review of camera footage indicated that a white.
She accentuates the white. She's selling us. I'm on the edge of my seat, everyone. I'm about to just have my mind blown.
Sedan. Hereafter, suspect vehicle 1 was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow at approximately 3:26 a.m. Well, 3:26 a.m. is literally very interesting timing, because as Josh and Nate are leaving Banfield, where do they go for those 10 minutes until?
Oh my God. We got 2 missing cops for 10 minutes. I mean, they're saying it only took 8 minutes to commit this quadruple homicide, and no one believes that. So it's got to be more than one person. So she's blowing my mind. I'm actually starting to believe her.
So they're back like on camera, roughly like maybe like 14 minutes. Where do they go? 15 minutes. Well, this would be consistent. If you go
Consistent. This is consistent with the PCA.
Go to Google Maps.
That's where she goes to the intersection again. Moving right along. Just another ridiculous theory of Lana's. But she said it, so she must be right, right? All of her people are on the same page. I mean, she's right. All right, where is it?
And John doesn't say down towards the bottom there that the suspect vehicle 1 was not displaying a license plate. Wasn't that also, even though they were just calling it a sedan, they weren't calling it an Elantra there. I mean,
Right.
Seems like another detail that.
And what do we know? And what do we know, everyone? We know, Jeff made a good point. We talked about this before. We know that this white sedan, suspect vehicle 1 is what that says. So they've identified it, they believe, doesn't have a front license plate. So Pennsylvania, just like Florida, only requires 1 plate, and that's affixed to the rear. Thank goodness. Because if I had my Porsche still, I wouldn't want to stick a license plate on the front of it. But some of these states, like Washington and Idaho, require a front license plate. But because he came from Pennsylvania, and he had, I don't know if it's 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, I don't know what it is there, had a certain amount of time to get his plate changed if that's his permanent residence. He didn't have to, and this car didn't have one. Bam. Remember, I said the car would be the one thing that was going to nail him, not DNA, the car. And it does.
Right there, this is what we're referring to. Let's see if it popped up for you guys. Yes.
All right, so we'll move out of that one.
A review of camera footage indicated that a white sedan hereafter.
All right, so here we go. We're going to move away from that kind of stuff. We're going to go to her idol, Ann Taylor. In her opinion, is the greatest attorney to ever grace the earth. In my opinion, if I were to give Ann Taylor a grade, it would be like a C-. The attorneys down here would destroy her. She's a C- attorney. I don't know. She wouldn't make it here. I can promise you that. They would eat her alive. So right here, she's going to just watch it. I'll do the narrative here. That's not the one.
The testing in this case. Please note, this is a request.
All right. So what you're going to see here is you're going to see a deflated Lana. Now she's going to try and hide it, but she's deflated. She gets really flustered here because her idol kind of gets her butt handed to her by the judge. Reality check.
We did get some, but it's a narrow scope, and we asked for that whole year, 6 months before and 6 months after.
Sorry, as you all know, the volume in the courtroom was really low, and this is as high as I can get it. But fortunately, we've got closed caption, so you're just gonna have to read along here.
I understand your responsibility is to turn over every lot, but you can't get things that as well. So, I mean, it has.
Boom.
So what did he say there? Can't get something that we don't have. Miss Taylor, remember that motion that she filed where she accused the state of withholding evidence. And I said from the beginning, when I read that on a Friday afternoon, she knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted to twist this public opinion in her favor and have the entire weekend for people like Lana, who went ballistic when she read it and thought that it was the greatest piece of literature she'd ever read in her life. If you watch that one, I don't have that one. I should have pulled that one up because it was comical. She thought this was the greatest piece of literature, and Ann Taylor, quote, handed the state their ass. She destroyed them. No, she didn't. All she did was throw lies and play with words like placed knife sheath. Withholding, the state's withholding evidence. We don't have it. They're not giving it to us. Hey, newsflash, Lana. This is how it works. You go to a crime scene. You investigate the crime scene. You retrieve evidence. Some parts go for DNA processing. Some go to latent print processing. Some go to different labs. Everybody's got a role. But you know what doesn't happen, Lana? It's all these reports don't come back at the same time. You've got multiple agencies involved here. You've got Idaho State Police. You've got the FBI. You've got you got the Moscow Police. You got 3 agencies right there, not to mention the mutual aid from probably Washington, all these other states that are in there. It's called mutual aid. Moscow is a tiny department. Although the chief got on TV and hopped on his soapbox and said, "This is our case. We've got this case. Don't let anybody tell you any different." Now, from the moment that Idaho State Police went in there and the feds went in there, they were nothing but a liaison. He was the liaison to talk to the media. They were no longer a lead on this case. No matter what he said, I thought it was pretty arrogant of him to get up there and say that in the first place. Because that was telling right there. You knew that wasn't the case if you were smart. Lana, watch her. She's deflated here. And so is Miss Ann Taylor. Because you know what? Miss Ann Taylor got her butt handed to her, probably in closed chambers by the judge, because we won't see it. But I promise you, she was admonished for that motion that she filed, where she absolutely undermined the entire justice system and their district. She made a mockery out of his court. She accused a 31-year state attorney of some nefarious acts, like they're withholding evidence. For what? To set up Brian Kohberger? Seriously? 31 years to set up Brian Kohberger. Disgusting. So the judge is basically telling her, and I'm sorry if you guys already know this and you haven't, I don't mean to be condescending in any way. I'm just trying to educate those that haven't taken the time maybe to review this stuff. So I'm just trying to show you what's going on and why these creators like Lana are doing nothing but damage. They're not helping anything. So anyway, he's telling her, look, if the state doesn't have it, state doesn't have it. And the state says, when we get it, she'll have it.
Boom. Right there. And what I don't even think Judge is going to realize until maybe he gets the transcripts of this court proceeding and he actually has to read what the fuck he said. But I'm going to let you guys all know what he just said right there. He is saying, but you can't get things that don't exist. Okay, well, I'm going to pull the court transcripts from and emails from and communication with and from the prosecution. And I'm going to provide them in my next motion that shows that they did exist.
I'm going to provide them in my next motion. Pay attention to that. She truly thinks, in my opinion, this lady believes that she's an attorney. She's in her own little world. She believes she's Lana the attorney right here. I promise you. Just my opinion, though.
They do exist. They did exist. And now, is it the prosecution's statements here today, or should we say August 18th, that they no longer exist? And where are they? And that they did, and now they're saying that they don't. So you're saying, what are you saying here?
I'm saying I'm stupider for listening to that. What did she just say? Does she just like talk to talk? I wonder if she sits back and listens to herself and realizes how stupid what she just said actually sounded. Because that's what it was. Sorry, you might not like the word stupid, but I'm stupider for listening to that. And I'm saying that being, because I know it's not really a word. Yeah. She's serious. Carry on.
They don't exist because of how, when they had them before. But what she did here, and patience is a very, very important thing for a lawyer that is going to litigate.
Patience. You got to understand, everyone. Patience is a very important thing for a lawyer who's going to litigate. Woo! Blowing my mind. What book did you read that from, Lana? Oh, man, please. That was absolutely, unbelievably great insight. Wow. And why do we believe it? Because Lana said so. Because she's got a YouTube channel. She's Lana. She's a badass. In fact, one of her videos says, I'm better than you. I got bigger blanks than you. I got better this than you, better that than you. My mods are better than you. She's spewing it. I don't want to waste your time. You guys can find it yourself, but it's pretty pathetic. But what she's doing here, she knows that her idol, Ann Taylor, looks pretty bad right here. But she's a team player. She plays ball. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Game winning run on first base. Game tying run on second base. 2 strikes. We still got a shot. Or in her case, she can bust that 3-point J in somebody's eye with 0.2 seconds left, down by 2. She ain't going to give up.
And Anne sat back with patience here because she wanted to probably say a million things after this. she couldn't, because it's in the best interest of her case to do it a little differently.
It's in the best interest of her case. She sat back and just sucked it up, but she wanted to say 1,000 things. I mean, Lana's crystal ball is telling her this right now. I mean, that's her best friend, so she probably knows anyway.
Which is right here and right now, she checkmated the fuck out of the prosecution.
She checkmated the F out of the prosecution. Now, does this look like an attorney that just checkmated the F out of the prosecution? Keep watching. I don't think so. This girl is delusional. Truly is.
And the judge.
And the judge. Oh, and checkmated the judge too.
Them's the facts.
Them's the facts.
Things that as well. So, I mean, there has to be some level of trust in discovery. You're all sworn attorneys. So, Mr. Thompson is saying that there's one more lab report that is coming your way today. I heard you say.
Not, maybe not today. We are waiting to receive it so that we can process it for discovery. It's supposed to be in any time.
Okay.
Okay, so what he's saying here, everyone, it's kind of what I was saying. If they don't have it yet, it's because the prosecution doesn't have it yet, because the investigating agencies have not prepared the evidence and the reports, wrapped it up in a little bow, and sent it to him yet. They are waiting on it. But Miss Taylor articulated that unbelievably poor written, ridiculous affidavit, implying for us all to see on a weekend, so the judge wouldn't see it, that Mr. Thompson there is lying. Oh yeah, it gets better.
I misunderstood that. So it's coming soon. It has to come soon because we're 6 weeks away from the trial. So.
Well, this is when it's going to get really good, because it's 6 weeks away. We got 6 weeks before the October 2nd trial date, right? Now, this is all prior to the waiving of the right to speedy trial. This is prior to that. Pay attention.
We're going to be very rushed about a lot of things.
And what Miss Taylor was thinking to herself in those seconds that Judge was speaking, in my opinion,
What she was thinking to herself about what Judge said. Remember, his name is John Judge, right? That's a great name for a judge. She knows what she was thinking because she's Lana. She's got all this experience.
is what in the actual fuck are you talking about? Because that lab result is not what I'm talking about. That lab result doesn't get me whatever it is that you're talking about here, saying that I'm going to get this report and it's coming to me today. And then backseat Bill says, no, I didn't say today. And then he's like, well, this is bound to happen. We have to have stuff over to you guys. We have a trial that starts in 6 weeks. And guess what, guys? The prosecution is not ready. And that's why you want to exercise your right for a speedy trial. And Taylor.
Oh, listen to this. This is great. This is great.
Will not be waiving this, nor will Brian Kohberger be waiving it. They're going.
And Taylor, and I quote, will not be waiving the speedy trial. They're going. And Brian Kohberger will not be waiving that speedy trial. Hey, Lana. Newsflash. You were wrong. Dead wrong. Truth be told, is old Miss Ann Taylor here should have waived that speedy trial months ago, because there's no way in God's green earth that this trial was going to go in October. No way. But because she's so cocky and arrogant, she wanted everybody to believe, well, we got this. She set that date. We got this. She wanted to keep within the speedy trial time frame, 6 months, I believe it is there. So we got this because the state's got nothing. Think she's eating a little crow now, don't you? She looks pretty silly, especially with that silly alibi. My client was just, he likes to go for long drives at night. A good attorney would have said, hey, you know what, Brian? You don't know where you were, do you? Do you know where you were that night? I mean, it was like 49 days later. Isn't that right, Jeff? Was it 49 days that he was arrested?
Yeah, I'm not positive about that. I don't know.
I mean, Jeff, what were you doing 49 days ago at 3:30 in the morning?
Yeah, I wasn't driving around.
Yeah. Well, if I'm his attorney, I'm going to say, you don't know where you were. I mean, I don't know where I was. So what do you say?
Right.
You say, I mean, I don't recall where I was during that day and time. I mean, that was a long time ago. I mean, I just don't recall. But it's like I talked about before. If you say you don't remember, you don't remember. But if you get into a deposition and an attorney's pressing you and you say, I don't remember, and then you get to trial and he asks you that same question and you remember, he's going to impeach your testimony. Because you didn't remember in deposition. He pressed you on it. You did it. Why all of a sudden do you remember? But if you say, I mean, I really can't give you a great alibi because I don't recall where I was. I could have been asleep. I could have been driving around. I could have been committing a quadruple homicide. I don't know. I don't remember. Just don't recall. Don't say I don't remember. That's what she should have told her client to say. That's why she's a C- attorney. Not real bright.
Yeah, because that alibi was the alibi was in essence an admission to being out on the road in his car driving at night.
He was out and he was driving around in his car that everyone saw without the tag on the front. You're absolutely right.
He gave the prosecution a freebie, basically.
But why? What would have been better to say if you'd have just said, I don't recall where I was? What's the state going to say? You got to remember. No, I don't recall. I mean, any prudent person that you ask him where he was that amount of time later at that time in the morning was probably going to say they were asleep, but they can't say for sure because maybe they're out driving around. That was a rookie mistake, in my opinion. Like you just said, Jeff, she basically gave it up. She gave up that car being there. But what she was counting on, and what a lot of people don't realize, is she's stretching this right to speedy trial out so long because she wanted that what? What report did she want, Jeff? That the FBI has, the cast report. She wants that cast report because if she gets that cast report within the time frame of his speedy trial, then she can do what? She can look at the cast report and she can build his alibi. Because trust me, that's what she would have done. Hey, they got you here and here and here and here. Where were you? Oh, well, I wasn't here, here, and here, and here. I mean, if I was, I just drove by and, I was running my obstacle course with my K-bar knife, climbing trees. Because that's what I do. I'm a vegan.
Yeah, it certainly does seem like a confident alibi would come early on. You're innocent. You got nothing to hide. I'm going to tell you right now where I was, what I was doing, and unfortunately, maybe I don't have anybody that can confirm that.
Yeah.
But yeah, waiting until the end. That's like being accused by your wife of something. It's like, well, first tell me what all your friends said they saw, and then I'll tell you my story.
Exactly. You're exactly right. That's exactly what that's what they're implying.
These people who's running this train, who I feel so bad for the families, because the people that are in charge of this case.
Did she just say that? Did Lana just say, I feel so bad for the families? Hey, everyone, in the comments, do you think that Lana actually gives two rats' butts about the families and their feelings? Because if she did, she wouldn't be spewing this garbage. She wouldn't be implying, which I'm going to show you, that Xana was a drug dealer. She wouldn't be implying that the whole house was involved in drugs, which would implicate all of them. She wouldn't be saying that stuff if she truly cared about the families. No. She's got her own agenda. This is her world right here that she's created. She wants all of you to believe what she's saying. Because in my opinion, she's powerful. She's powerful sitting in that chair with her hoodie up and her pencil stuck in her ear most of the time. And she'll grab, what does she call her projector? What does she call that? She's got a nickname for it.
Hector the projector, I think.
Hector the projector. She busts out her pencil and her highlighter and she goes to work on Hector the projector, and she usually just sits there, like 15 or 20 minutes, highlighting and underlining stuff. And people will just be sitting there and chat. Oh, you're the greatest. You're the greatest, Lana. Oh, what are you going to give us next? I can't wait. Hector projector, she'll jump up and down and she'll underline a word.
Hey, John, I'll be right back.
You got to take the dog out?
Yeah, he's got to go chase two. What'd you say? Two rats' butts?
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, that's what she does. That's what she's going to do here.
Are not prepared, are not ready. And this is happening on the 2nd of October. And they are not in the least prepared.
The state's not in the least prepared. She just said that. The state is not prepared to go to trial in 6 weeks in October. Remember, this is not now. Excuse me. So again, she's deflecting the fact that her idol sucks. Okay? And that this isn't looking real good for her man, Mr. BK. So she's trying to deflect and make the state look bad. So that's what she wants all of her cast and crew to believe.
If you think that Bethany on cross or Dylan on cross is your guys' problem, that's the furthest thing from your guys' problem.
Your guys'.
You're not even going to have the chain of evidence. This is why you want to never waive your right to a speedy trial, period. What you're seeing right here. And
she's flustered, everyone. For once, old Miss Lana, she's lack of words. She can't articulate something. She's trying to spew something, but she's thinking real hard. She did the old neck reach. Oh, God, where am I going to go from here? What am I going to say?
Dan's got them where, in my opinion, where she needs them, where she wants them. And this is crazy.
She's got them where she needs them. She's got them where she wants them. She's saying that Ann Taylor's got the prosecution right. She's got them by the balls. It's over. I think this is a look of agony and defeat right here. And
It's scary, sure, it's scary. But if this is about getting justice for 4 victims and their families, right?
There she goes with the family BS again. This is about getting justice, right? For families and these victims. Oh, wait, this is going to get good.
I'd have a huge problem with what I would be truly seeing right now.
Tell us.
Period. Period. It's very, 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 very scary.
Yeah,
to say that there's.
It is scary what you would be saying. It is scary, Lana. Everything you say is scary, in my opinion, and it should be in all of your opinions too. Should be scary to have this person. Oh, by the way, who is not even allowed on her own channel right now, who's been suspended or whatever YouTube does. She's in timeout. She's in YouTube jail right now. She had to actually beg to get on someone else's show last night. So because she's going through withdrawals more than likely. And then she tried to go on that show and take it over. And that creator of that show kind of handed her ass a little bit, if you ask me. But we'll show some of that too.
Something that just doesn't exist. And that's, I guess, what my question is what doesn't exist? Because it did exist, and now you're saying that it doesn't exist, or what doesn't exist?
No, they never said that something did exist and now it doesn't exist. Didn't say that.
And then he's saying, so we're going to be very rushed about a lot of things. Well, it should be interesting.
All right, we'll move on off of that. So we're moving right down the line here. It's going to get good here in a minute. I know hopefully this isn't boring you too much, everyone. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the other creator that we were talking about. So just last night, this is hot off the press. Lana, she can't get on her show because we'll get into that later too. Anyway, she's in YouTube jail. So she goes on to Bella's show at Bed Crime Stories. And I think Bella might even be regretting it a little bit. I know they're buddies, but Lana went in there and Bella kind of had to set her straight on some crazy theories that she was saying. And Bella's like, no, I don't think so. Nah, I think she kind of handed her butt, and Lana was uncomfortable. But one of the saddest things you're going to hear here is you're going to hear Lana actually say, so she's talking about this case, and then she talks about another case. Now she's comparing this case and the crime scene of this case to this other case, which is somebody that got shot in the middle of the street 6 times in the head. And she actually says, crime scenes are crime scenes. That's got to be probably the most ignorant thing I've ever heard anyone in the YouTube true crime community say. A crime scene's a crime scene. No, Lana. Every crime scene's unique. Every crime scene's different. So here's what I'll tell you. If you're standing out in the middle of the road and somebody walks up and puts 6 in your head, you're in the middle of the road. You're not in a room. You're not going to have blood splatter all over a wall or on the bed sheets or DNA all over the place that you can retrieve. You're in the middle of the street. And this guy was standing on the side of the street or in a car or something and shot him. I don't remember what the scenario was. But you're going to have casings. You're going to have a dead body in the middle of the street. That'll get bagged and tagged and taken away. They'll photograph the crime scene. Won't be a plethora of photographs because there's really not a lot to photograph in the middle of the street. But in a bedroom or a dining room or multiple rooms with 4 homicide victims, you're going to take a lot of pictures. You're going to spend a lot of time. She can't believe there's 4,000 pictures. Like it matters. The more the better, as far as I'm concerned. She makes a big deal out of it. And she also makes a big deal out of the coroner not being there at a certain amount of time. I've had homicides where the coroner didn't come for 2 days. It's 28 degrees too. You gotta think about some of these things. There's factors. They would much rather get DNA and preserve the crime scene and convict the person that did this with evidence than worry about getting the body to the ME's office for, an exam. I think it was pretty obvious what took these kids' lives. But not for Lana. Lana's got a theory. And I think that she's going to get her ass.
Coroner did not go into like tag and bag the body. The coroner never stepped in.
Let's back up a little bit. Sorry about that.
Well, I think I found some.
Again, she's not on her own show. Her show's shut down right now for obvious reasons, which I might opine on, but I'm not positive. I just got a pretty good idea. So she tries to take over old Bella's show here.
With Hector.
In my opinion. What's that?
With Hector. So that'd be her and Hector or guests on Bella's show, right?
Oh yeah, Hector the projector.
Stuff out that I want to share with you.
I want to hear about it.
So I was.
No offense, Bella, but your voice is unbelievably. It's a cool voice. It could certainly put me to sleep. I want to hear about it. She has got the most monotone, perfect voice. It's great.
It's a little like a ASMR.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was it? Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm gonna wait so I can do it live. But
yeah, she's saying I'm gonna wait so I can do it live. Why?
Thank you for being here, for coming on over to Bella's channel.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
You're a rock star.
Well, I think I found some stuff out that I want to share with you.
I want to hear about it.
I want to hear about it.
So I was set to do this live. I don't know. What was it? Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm gonna wait so I can do it live. But it was.
She's gonna wait so she can do it live because that's her choice. Like she has a choice. She's gonna wait. Newsflash. She doesn't have a choice. She has to wait. And there's a reason.
It was about this $100,000 a year job that, or just, I should say, somebody's making $100,000 a year, and that's how they were able to afford their Range Rover.
So who bought a Range Rover, Jeff?
That would be Kaylee, right?
The day of the unalivings. That would be Kaylee.
Mm-hmm.
So, for whatever reason, she thinks it's important to divulge that Kaylee is going to make $100,000. She just landed a job in Texas, so yeah, she's a college graduate. She could have already signed a deal with the company, and she buys a used Rover. Now, not a high-end Rover. It's the lowest of low-end Rovers. It's kind of like a Ford Escape. It's a low-end Rover. And I think that she owed 14 grand on it. I read somewhere her parents paid it off. And she put some money down and she financed it. But she wants everybody to believe it's a Rover. So she's got to be a rich girl now. And she's got to be a rich girl. Why? Because she's slinging dope. That's what she implies.
So I went out to the beginning of everything, and I wanted to take a look again at, when we were looking at when these search warrants were, when they were obtained. It's when they got the return of it. We can go out and say, okay, we're gonna go out and get these search warrants, but when did we, as a department, start getting the returns on them? So basically, like what Ann Taylor is trying to talk about is, in a nutshell, what's your investigation? Like, Where did you start at? How'd you get to Brian Kohberger, right? So that's what you're looking at right here. This is the actual like order of the return, like when you got stuff back. Also, because of the Daniel Moore Brian Drake case, I don't know if you guys know this, but Daniel Moore Brian Drake case, Brian Drake was allegedly killed dead at 7:30 p.m. on a Thursday night. Do you know the coroner did not go into that house, or I'm sorry, not the house, but his office until after between like 3 and 5 p.m.
So now she's talking about another case. This is all cases with Lana. Any case. I mean, innocent until proven guilty. No matter what, she doesn't care. She's going to get that person off, and she's going to figure out a way. That's what she does. She's consumed. She nitpicks everything. She's trying to figure out a way to get Brian Kohberger off here. Now she's talking about another case that she's working on. Oh, yeah, it gets good. But it shows her mindset, everyone. It's disgusting, in my opinion.
The next day.
Well, I know that, but everyone else might not know that. Did we talk about that?
Let me rewind that a little bit.
Allegedly killed dead at 7:30 p.m. on a Thursday night. Do you know the coroner did not go into that house, or I'm sorry, not the house, but his office until after between like 3 and 5 p.m. the next day?
Well, I know that, but everyone else might not know that. Did we talk about that ever?
No.
So his body, so Dr. Drake's body was lying there waiting.
From allegedly 7:30 on Thursday night. And then the coroner did not go into like tag and bag the body. The coroner never stepped in that place until after 3 p.m. It was between like 3 and 5 p.m.
So, what's your point, Lana? Do you have a point? Is there some credibility to what you're saying? Is there a time frame that a coroner or an ME can show up at a crime scene? Tell us. Inquiring minds want to know, because you obviously know that there's something nefarious going on here on another case that you're going to relate to this case. It's like spinning that ball. Woo! She's spinning it. She's spinning that ball. She's keeping it on there for us all to watch. And we got goo-goo eyes because she's keeping that ball on her fingers for like an hour. Whoop. And pop it a couple more times. Oh, I got it. Watch the ball, everybody.
On Friday.
Oh, she did lick lips. She licked her lips. She's in deep thought now.
And that's pretty much because you have a body there. It's not going anywhere. So it's probably
So Bella,
yeah,
I'm
from
gonna rewind
allegedly
it.
7:30.
So Bella is the voice of reason here. Now, Lana here is a guest on her show. Bella's like, wait a second here. You can spew this crap on your show, but step back, Jack. This is my show. I respect her for that.
On Thursday night. And then the coroner did not go into like tag and bag the body. The coroner never stepped in that place until after 3 p.m. It was between like 3 and 5 p.m. on Friday.
And that's pretty much because you have a body there. It's not going anywhere. So it's probably pretty typical.
Voice of reason. It's probably, Lana, pretty typical. Lana doesn't like this. She kind of rolls her eyes. She's piercing her lips. Look at her right there. She's like, "Oh, girl, did you just diss me? Girl. I thought we was friends."
Because they have to clear the scene. They have to get all this stuff done. They have to do all the procedure, and then they bring in the coroner. So that means
wait, you're trying to tell me that you think a coroner is not coming into the crime scene from 7 p.m. on a Thursday until 5 p.m. the next day of Friday, almost 24 hours?
Yep.
I don't know if it's always 24 hours, but I know they're pretty much the last experts
Let me
on scene.
let me tell you something about the
Oh, let me tell you something, because I know everything. I'm Lana. I know how crime scenes are processed. I do this for a living. I've been to school. I've got, a plethora of experience. I mean, I'm Lana. I got my own YouTube channel. I can opine on this. And let me tell you something, Bella.
about the Sheldon Jeter Jr. case.
Mm.
Sheldon Jeter Jr. Allegedly killed Tyreek Pugh. And that crime scene was found at allegedly 11:45 p.m. Okay. That crime scene was in the middle of a road. Okay. Gunshots, 6 to the head, 7 to the body total.
Again, that crime scene was in the middle of the road. Not a house, not a car, not a boat, not a train. In the middle of the road. Like the Dr. Zeus analogy there, right?
Laying in the middle of the street, that the cops were on scene by like 11:42 p.m. Okay. That crime scene was cleared, coroner, everything, by 3:30 a.m.
Wow.
Wow. It's the middle of the street. Again, somebody popped somebody in the head 6 times in the middle of the street. Look for casings on the ground. Find the casings, tag and bag them. Videotape the crime scene. Do some tape measuring from corner to corner. Triangulate it in. Videotape it. Take some snapshots. Get that road open. We don't have blood splatter on walls. We don't have, a TV screen with blood splatter on it. We don't have footprints. We don't have any bloody footprints in the middle of the road. We don't have them on the floor. It's an asphalt road. What are we going to do? How long, Lana, should it take to process that crime scene? You got to know. I mean, you've done hundreds of them. Because you're Lana. You got your own true crime podcast. You're a badass.
So
They gotta get that road open.
I don't know what case you've ever heard of.
Oh, did you hear what she just said?
6 to the
You
head,
gotta get that
7
road
to the body
open.
total. Laying in the middle of the street, that the cops were on scene by like 11:42 p.m. Okay. That crime scene was cleared, coroner, everything, by 3:30 a.m.
Wow.
So
They
I don't
gotta
know-
get that
I don't
road
know-
open.
I don't know what case you've ever heard of that a body just lays there for 24 hours and the coroner doesn't come in when they've known about it for 24 hours. I've never
And what's your point? But listen to what she's about to say.
just lays there for 24 hours and the coroner doesn't come in when they've known about it for 24 hours. I've never heard of such a thing. So
Oh, and you would have, Lana, because you're Lana. Again, you got your own YouTube channel. You know all about crime scenes and everything there is to know, how to investigate them, how to clear them, how to tag and bag, how to coordinate, how to do all that stuff, because you're Lana.
but if you have, Bella, I would love for you to tell me what case, because I want to go check it out.
So what she does here is she challenges it. She challenges Lana or Bella on her own show, because Bella says, "I've talked to some officers, and yeah, that's pretty common. That happens all the time." She's like, "Oh no, that never happens. In fact, why don't you cite the cases to me? I'd like to look at them, because I'm Lana." and I gotta be right. This chick is unbelievable. Can I say chick? Is that okay? Does that offend anyone? I hope it doesn't. I mean, I did refer to her as female. Am I allowed to do that? Should I just say Lana? Is it? I mean, I you know, it's kind of slang for me to say chick. I am from Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm a little surf rat here, so I'm a dude. She's a chick.
I can find out the cases, but I know that I've talked to detectives who've done dozens of serial murders and, well, maybe even hundreds. And they say that's pretty typical because they don't let the coroner in unless it's been cleared. They're like the last people. And I'll find out the cases for you. I mean, whether it's 24 hours or not, I don't know, but it could be hours. A road, and we know how PA, unfortunately, in Aliquippa works. They probably were like, we need to clear this road. And it's unfortunate. I'll ask and I'll get you the cases. You could look at them.
So do you think then, you would think that in 24-hour period, you think that there'd be like a lot of pictures of like a crime scene? So
In
a guy,
24-hour period.
Oh, now we're going to talk about how many photos are allowed to be taken at a crime scene, or what's too many, what's not enough. She doesn't really answer that here. It's kind of confusing. But she's casting doubt in somebody's mind.
Would there be a lot of pictures? Yes.
one shot, one gunshot, allegedly, in an office building.
Mhm.
Okay. And then, so you're saying that a crime scene like that would take, you think, 24 hours to.
I don't know if it would be 24 hours. I
No,
don't know.
I don't even mean clean. Like, I'm talking like 24 hours for a coroner to see a body at a crime scene. I mean, I'm not talking about clearing a crime scene. I'm talking about coroner
Walking in.
seeing,
Walking in to view the body.
Like your
Now, I
coroners,
don't know.
like you call the coroner and they come on, like they're on call, they come right away.
Well, depends on the crime scene. They come right away. They might have to sit
Yeah, they
outside.
come right away. They may have to wait. They may be told, okay,
Yeah.
don't, you know.
See that rabbit hole? She just keeps diving in a rabbit hole. There's one over here. Let's dive in that one. Unbelievable. What does that have to do with anything? How long an ME or coroner arrives on the crime scene, what does it matter? I'm hoping she tells us. She never does. I think, and I've said it to my mods in jest, but I think it's true. Lana just likes to hear her mouth run. And I bet you she probably watches these shows, listens to them while she's in the shower, going to the bathroom, walking to the grocery store. She's probably listening to herself because she's Lana. She's a legend in her own mind. She's a narcissist, in my opinion.
But you would have. So then let's look at the Idaho 4 case, for example.
Oh, she wants to move on now. Let's move on. Because Bella, you're clearly not on my team.
People have asked me, Lana, when do you think the crime scene, when do you think these bodies got removed? So I went ahead and I said, you know, after hearing about the way that the ISP department works, and we're talking about 4,000 pictures were taken for a crime scene for the Idaho 4 case, right?
All right, so I'm going to move on from this because this goes on forever, and I think you get the point. But now she's going to complain that there's 4,000 crime scene photos, Jeff. Now, if you can all close your eyes and imagine what a 7-inch K-bar knife would do to a body, especially plunged into, vascular areas. We know that there was a ton of blood. Warning, everyone. I mean, we know all this. We know that it's in a building in separate rooms. We don't know whether there's a body actually that started out in the living room, maybe drug him or herself into, Ethan or Xana, into the bedroom. We don't know whether they were, you know, unalived before he left or they laid there and suffered. We don't know. We will know, but we don't know now. But to her, 4,000 photos. Why would they take 4,000 photos? Who cares? Lana, who cares? I don't care if they took 40,000 photos. How many terabytes do they have, Jeff? 51? You're on mute.
Right. 51.
51 terabytes is equal to what? 250,000 2-hour movies. That's a lot of data to go through, and to be able to go through it by October 2nd, never going to happen. And she knew about that. So we're going to move out for that. So you guys got the gist.
And it's got to be video, right? I mean, that's
Well,
a
you got
file size.
Right. So you've got your 3D. You know this because you're a videographer. This is what you do. But 3D animation is unbelievable, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're putting the camera here, they're putting cameras here, and they're getting 3-dimensional.
Oh, like what real estate photographers do.
Exactly.
Right. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like they're walking in with a video camera and just panning through.
Yeah, I should ask my friend. I have a friend in my band actually does that. He just sent me something recently, which was a 3D representation of a house he's got.
He's a real estate guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and he sent me that. Well, very impressive. Well,
you've got your pano on your phone too, which is pretty cool. The pano option. You ever use that on your phone? You have an iPhone?
Right.
They have the pano, which is really cool. So anyway, she's got a problem with that. But we're going to move on because we could be all night on this. So she goes on to Bella's show, and Bella challenges her. She's not real happy probably with Bella right now, but they won't tell you that because they're buddies. All right, here we go. Here's another one of Lana. She pretty much, in my opinion, started this whole drug theory. Now, this is my opinion because I heard it from her first. I used to go to her show and listen just for the comedy. So I did. Occasionally I'd spit drinks out. I'd be driving and listening to her. I just want to hear what these idiots have to say. Sorry, I called her an idiot because she is, in my opinion. So here we go. We're going to talk about this. And she cares about the families. She cares all about what the families think and how they feel, right? Let's impeach her on what she says here.
Of the death of Caden Young with the drugs. And nobody could come forward in this group to say, I've seen Brian Kohberger, I know who he is, and speak upon him as far as what my sources have revealed to me. And that was a big part of what I wanted to know. And you're going to be able to hear a lot of this from their own voices.
So I'm going to read Miss Potts. If anybody knows who Miss Potts is on her show, she's on other shows too. She goes by Annie Potts. She's another jewel. She thinks she's a judge, I think. I mean, she comes out of her, she puts her wrench down and comes into her show and all the time. She says, that's why they use off-campus houses so that the frat and sororities are absolved of responsibility when something happens. Really? I mean, that's why they do that? Unbelievable.
A lot of these kids have a lot to say about Emma. And I think that they want to speak on that because of the death of Caden Young with the drugs.
Now, if none of you know who Emma is just, she dates a drug dealer. So because they're in the area, they're automatically the drug, they're serving this house drugs. So and she says it, she actually says it here because she has a source apparently. So, I mean, if you have a source, you can say whatever you want to say, right? I mean, if somebody told you this, it's got to be true. You don't have to vet it. A source tells you you're protected. You're a YouTuber. You're not protected. That's why you just got spanked.
According to them, Emma was huge into selling drugs. And according to them, the people that were included in that was Xana.
Now, she just said that Xana, who we all know was Ethan's girlfriend. She's an unbelievably talented gymnast. I'm not saying she doesn't do drugs. I don't know that. But what I also don't know is that she did do drugs. And neither does Lana. So to tarnish this dead girl's name in the rest of the house by implying that she was selling drugs, here's where the impeaching of her own comments should come in. I worry and care so much about the parents and these families. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're a jerk. You're 100% jerk. And I got video of you saying some stuff that's pretty jerky. So I could back it up. But in my opinion, you're a jerk for implying something like that with no evidence. Zero. And I'll tell you this much, Lana, you're lucky that's not my daughter. Promise you that.
And it was more, not this past year, but the year before. And
we could go on about this too. It doesn't get any better, doesn't get any worse. But basically, she's implying that the whole house is nothing but a drug house. And that's what all this is about. That's why these 4 people were taken from their families and their loved ones, and that's why they were, stabbed to death, was over drugs. And she's actually even implying that couldn't have been Brian Kohberger. Could have been these 2 people. We'll move on from that. It's going to get real good here in a second. Sorry. Hopefully I'm not boring you again. All right.
With the Bella, there is video of her leaving the 1122 house. When the police came about a noise complaint, they were leaving. But who's to say?
You mean Emma?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, who did I say?
Yeah.
Bailey.
Yeah.
Was that her last name? Emma Bailey.
Yeah, Bella.
Bella. I always said Bella. I'm sorry. That Emma's the name. Correct.
Yeah.
I swear I'm just drinking water. I really. Emma was leaving the house as the police were coming up to give them a noise complaint. And I think she was with her friend that is also seen, I think, in the DUI pullover of Emma. But who's to say? I mean, I'm sure some would say, "Oh, look at that. That's she's connected to a drug dealer. She was at the house." Who's to say somebody said, get out of here? They're
Right.
leaving before the party's over.
Right.
Who's to say that it's like, we don't do that here.
It's a party town. She actually lived like 2 blocks away.
But I mean, I think too, if this was a really well-known drug house that the cartel and, hundreds of thousands of dollars and drugs were moving in and out of there, it seems to me, you tell me because you know law enforcement better, but all those noise complaints.
Yeah, that's what I said. We already talked. Yeah, we already talked about that. And that's
There's been a
That's what
prime
I said.
opportunity for them
So
to
you
blame
tell-
a dog, right?
You tell me. I mean, I did this for a long time. We got a dope house, and you get a noise complaint, somebody's getting a ticket. You got a dope house, and somebody's taking a leak in the front yard, somebody's getting arrested for lewd and lascivious or indecent exposure, whatever the laws there are. We don't go to noise complaints 3 or 4 times a night at the same location and say, now you guys, hey, listen, I don't want to be a jerk. Just keep it down. Keep the windows shut, the doors shut. You can listen to the music. Don't come outside because the neighbors are complaining. If I have to come back, I'm going to have to write you a $350 ticket. Not how it works, people. Remember, Jeff, I brought this up. We had this conversation. Probably gave you a subliminal. You remembered it. But yeah, exactly. That's not how it works. This was not a drug house, Lana. So let's see. What's next? I mean, we got a ton of stuff. We're not going to go over all this. I'm going to have to skip some stuff, everyone. But we may come back to old Lana if she pushes it. Let's see. What next do we have? We could go into the car. Okay, here we go. Now, I want you to keep in mind that old Lana girl here, you know, she thinks she's an attorney. And she can hand judges their asses. She could represent herself, right? She could represent herself in any case. Because she's Lana. She's got a YouTube channel. She knows everything there is to know about the law. So when she gets served, I'll tell you a quick story that's going to lead into this. So she's doing a live one night, and there's video of this. I have it, but I don't want to play it because we're into 2 hours here. She's got a live going on night. Why, it's pounding on the door. She's got her kid in there with her. I think he's like 7 years old or something. She's so paranoid. She's running around. Who is it? Guys, actually, a prosecutor's trying to serve her paperwork for court. So she's screaming on him to leave, that she's dialing 911 to get the F out of here. She's freaking her kid out. Her kid's crying. He's freaking out. Now, allegedly, I don't know how true this is, but allegedly there's some kind of custody battle going on. And I can tell you right now, that needs to be looked at. Because what she does here is unbelievable. But we're not going to show that part. So she's getting sued. She's getting an injunction for protection. I'm not sure what they call it there, but that's what they call it here. Against her. Because she's basically stalking, harassing, whatever she did. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but it was 10 hours long. The judge even makes a comment. This is a civil matter. It's going to be criminal because we're going to have a trial, but it's 10 hours. So inevitably, the judge grants this order of protection. But it gets interesting because she brings witnesses in, and the judge just hands her butt. It's hilarious. But I'm not going to bore you with all the details. You can watch it. It's right here. I'll post the link. You guys can watch it. It's absolutely boring, but entertaining at the same time. And the title is Lana Gets Her Ass Handed to Her by Judge for Stalking. So here we go. I'm going to fast forward it.
Your third party is contact. On their 2B, 3A, 6A. And now we have come upon some weird numbers. 7.
Okay, so she's gone through the whole thing. She's coming down to the point where I'm either going to grant this or I'm going to deny this. She blasts her pretty good. And I want you to pay attention to a word that she uses.
2A through 7-2E. So we have A, B, C, D, and E. 8A through 8G, and 10A through 10H, all of which have been admitted. And since that time, the situation has greatly escalated. And
so she was already granted the order months prior. And I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't want to say exactly what happened, but I think what happened is she's violated it, or this is a follow-up to keep the order of protection, and she's violated it numerous times. Because what people don't realize on an order of protection, if the judge says you will have no contact with this person, that means third party, fourth party, fifth party. If I say, hey Tanner, go tell your mom that I love her and I got an injunction for protection, and he goes and tells her that, I just violated. I'm a done deal. I violated the order. No contact is no contact. And this is a no contact order. So the judge hands her a butt.
had the court had that information beforehand, I would have definitely said under 18.3, 602, 1B and 1C. There were grounds for issuing the protection order. 1B talks about a credible threat to another person. And seeing I don't care if it was a Nerf gun or not, being repeatedly.
So apparently she used a toy gun to do something, I don't know, but it scared the hell out of the victim here. I don't care if it's a Nerf gun or whatever it was, or if it's a, one of those black plastic guns that looks real. People don't know. People get killed every day because they brandish toy guns.
Fired and practicing aim. The court was greatly alarmed by that.
The court was greatly alarmed because you practiced aiming a toy gun.
I do find that would cause a reasonable person under the totality of that conduct, fear for their life and fear for the lives of their loved ones. The court finds by a much more than a preponderance of the evidence.
The court finds by a much more of the preponderance of the evidence. So overwhelmingly, the court finds what you're about to hear. Not just enough or not enough. Overwhelmingly.
That if, unless restrained, these acts are going to continue. They're going to, similar acts are going to continue, or maybe different acts designed to retaliate against the protected person. Okay, but that begs the question as to prong number one. At the time that the court issued the protection order, and it was this court that issued the protection order, what was presented? Well, frankly, the defendant herself talked a lot about that application. And at the time, at the time of that application, the court knew several things. The court knew that the plaintiff had threatened to divulge medical information about the plaintiff, had put her picture, or put a picture of Sean
That sounds kind of like blackmail to me. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm just taking an educated guess, but sounds like she was trying to extort someone in a way. I don't know.
Walsh in the ad, a teaser for the Christopher Watts case. Had indicated that she had become so alarmed with the repeated tags and postings that she had to let her daughter know that if she would see this person come to the home, because the person had threatened to come to her home.
So a child was involved apparently, and this parent, Miss Walsh, had to warn the child, hey, if this girl comes to the house, call the police. I don't know what she said. I can only imagine. But she had to warn her child because she's in fear for her child's life and their family's safety.
To not let her in. And in reviewing the exhibits, the exhibit that caught the court's attention was the one that said, "That'll get your attention," or words to that effect. That's simply code for "I'm trying to cause you emotional distress." There is no other legitimate purpose for these items than to cause emotional distress to Ms. Walsh. These are not, this is not issues of protected speech under McIntyre v. Jones or any other case.
So basically, this is not her First Amendment right to do this. This judge is ruling on this because that's what she's citing. She had a right to do all this stuff, which you don't really know about, but it was bad. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, the two parties are limited public figures. That does not create open season on their private lives.
And I'm going somewhere with this, everyone, because we're going to leave this and go to something that just happened. This happened a few months ago. Okay. And I think they still have a trial or a hearing to go to in October on something about this case. But you would think that old Miss Lana would have learned her lesson because she gets spanked pretty good here. Nope. She's Lana. She no learn nothing. She's a badass. She can do whatever she wants, in my opinion. And you'll see here in a minute. You'll be really pissed when you see the next one.
So it brings the court back to brings the court back to 183602, subsection 1C. A person commits stalking if directly or indirectly through another person. The person knowingly, repeatedly follows, approaches, contacts, places under surveillance, or makes any form of communication with another person. Okay, well, here what we have both repeatedly contacts and repeatedly makes any form of communication, because whether it's a direct telephone call, whether it's a tagging, that is contact, it is a form of communication. So repeatedly follows, approaches, contacts, places under surveillance, or makes any form of communication with another person. A member of the person's immediate family or somebody with whom the person has or has had a continuing relationship in the manner that would cause a reasonable person to suffer emotional distress and does cause emotional distress.
You know, again, this judge has a pretty extensive criminal docket. She felt so strongly about this case that she set aside an entire day, 10 hours, to handle this case, to render this decision. Most judges would have been like, this is nothing. Granted it, denied it, whatever, sent them on their way. But this judge rendered a decision, and then she articulates why she rendered that decision. She's a good judge. I'm very impressed with her.
Well, I do find that Ms. Walsh has testified quite credibly, and frankly is the only credible witness here today.
Woo! Did you hear that? Miss Walsh, the victim, okay? She's testified, according to the judge, quite credibly. And as I said, the only credible person, quite frankly. Now, don't forget, you don't know this, but Lana testified, represented herself, I believe, and she had witnesses come in. None of which this judge, who's very reasonable, found credible. Big word there, credible. I think it's got some meaning here, and I'm gonna get to that in a few minutes. And we'll take some phone calls, and I'll listen to what you guys have to say. That's going to be very entertaining, I'm sure. But I want everybody to hit me in chat. Tell me what you really think, because that's record right there, and we'll go back and we'll read them. And maybe Lana will read them. I doubt it, though.
Today, regarding her level of emotional distress, I find her testimony at the temporary orders hearing credible, and the testimony at the permanent orders hearing credible. And finally, she need not show that she received professional treatment or counseling to show that she has suffered serious emotional distress.
So the plaintiff, Miss Walsh, had to seek, sounds to me like she had to get some psychological help because of the tyranny that Lana put on her and her family. I don't know. I'm just my opinion. Sounds to me like that's what she's saying. You decide.
So I do find that prong number one, by a preponderance of the evidence, was met at the time that the court issued the temporary order of protection. I don't find it relevant to the court's consideration that there were no direct threats made by Ms. Wariani, especially as the behavior escalated under 18.3.602 2B, under the credible threat definition. Credible threat means a threat, physical action, or repeated conduct. Emphasis on repeated conduct that would cause a reasonable person to be.
Did you hear that? Emphasis on repeated conduct. Because you know what? Lana thinks she's invincible, in my opinion. She thinks she can just do whatever she wants because she's Lana. She's the best. She's the greatest. She's better than everyone. I've got video of her actually saying that. She's even got bigger breasts than everyone. She says it. My breasts are bigger. My breasts are better. They're firmer, or whatever she says, something like that. Oh, yeah, I got it. I'm not going to play it for y'all because it's disgusting. But you can only imagine the type of person that Lana actually is. And this judge, she nails her. I mean, it's perfect. And then we're going to go on to something else that's going to blow your mind and just show you how arrogant old Lana really is.
And fear for the person's safety or the safety of their immediate family. And the last sentence is, the threat need not be directly expressed if the totality of the conduct would cause a reasonable person such fear. And the court does find that the totality of the conduct does cause a reasonable person such fear. And that is the credible threat that resulted after the situation escalated. So at this point, the court now believes even stronger than I did back in January.
Woo! Her feelings now, the judge's feelings now, that the preponderance of the evidence and the propensity for something bad to happen is even higher now than it was just a few months ago. So not only was she issued a temporary injunction a few months ago, that didn't work. Oh, Lana didn't buy a clue. She didn't get the message because she's Lana. She knows the law. She can beat this. She's a badass. She's invincible, in my opinion. Oh, no. It gets better.
Protection order is necessary. I did grant this order of protection under the guise of 1C originally. If examining the facts again today, I find it even stronger under both 1C as well as 1B that it is necessary.
So what those are, 1C and 1B, those are escalations in, you know, the propensity that something bad's going to happen. It was just 1C. I don't know what 1C is. Probably verbal. 1B could be physical. Could be the propensity of something physical or a weapon or something like that. She's saying now that even after, like I said, even after she issued that temporary one, and that's what this hearing is, to try either keep it or drop it. Hell yeah, we're keeping it. And it's going to be permanent.
Hey, John.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, John. Yeah, just saw Kelly in the chat wanted to remind you about the nurse clip.
Yeah, that's next. That's what I'm saying is going to make everybody mad.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Counsel, are there any further findings that you are requesting?
Your Honor, I don't request any further findings. We do have a question regarding the language on the protection order, because Ms. Oriani stated in court both while she was testifying in her closing.
All right, it's about to get good right here. She's about to just blast her. This is beautiful, people. But it won't work.
Ms. Walsh, and I would appreciate if the court could add some additional language.
All right, well, I think it's important that I don't make any ruling regarding or any judicial finding regarding whether or not that temporary order of protection was violated. I very well.
So what she's saying here is the state attorney's office is going to get this, and they're going to potentially violate her for violating the protection order, because this is just to see if we want to keep the protection order or we want to discard it. But she violated it allegedly. So that's what she's saying here. Wait a second. Let's see what the state attorney's office decides in law enforcement, whether she actually violated or not. And then I might even get that case too.
Could be the finder of fact in a court trial that's held. This is a very small jurisdiction in a big metro area. And I have a criminal docket. You saw me doing one this morning before you came in. So let me add some additional findings and see if that takes care of this.
All right, here it is. Turn your ears up.
Ms. Oriani, I don't find your testimony credible. I found your testimony to be at many times incomprehensible and wandering, and that there is a definite fixation that you have on Ms. Walsh. And
I don't find your testimony credible. In fact, I find your testimony incomprehensible and wondering. Oh yeah, she goes on. She describes old Lana to a T.
It's a very unhealthy fixation. That there.
Let's hear that again.
And I have a criminal docket. You saw me doing one this morning before you came
I won't
in.
interrupt.
So let me add some additional findings and see if that takes care of this. Ms. Oriani, I don't find your testimony credible. I found your testimony to be at many times incomprehensible and wandering, and that there is a definite fixation that you have on Ms. Walsh, and it's a very unhealthy fixation. That there appears to be the motive here, and I heard quite a bit when I was commenting during your testimony. That was really for your benefit, for your ears.
So she was basically telling her to shut up because she was incriminating herself. I listened to that part. So the judge was like, you need to stop. You know how I know it was so bad? Because the prosecution, Vanessa Walsh's attorneys, didn't even cross her because she hung herself because she's Lana. No matter what she says, she's right. Right? In my opinion.
That what I was hearing from you was simply more motive about this passion and that you had for Ms. Walsh, and an extreme interest in what was going on with Ms. Walsh. And it's important that now that the order of protection will be made permanent, that you don't violate it. That this seems to have been caused from maybe some hurt feelings that Ms. Walsh had not wished to follow you or to associate with you. And that led to this stalking type of behavior. But now that the order of protection has been issued, it's important that you understand that you are responsible for following the order of protection, and that third-party contact especially not be practiced, because third-party
contact, that means sending your mods to do your dirty work, because this is all, Vanessa's I believe got her own show or something. I don't know a whole lot about her. Somebody else might know in chat. But anyway, no third-party contact, so don't send your mods to do your dirty work. T-Rev could cost you. I've got all those snapshots. Oh, Hollis and Regina. Got your IP addresses. Got all that info.
Contact is a violation of this order of protection. And I'm going to leave that up to the police and the district attorney's office to figure out whether or not they believe probable cause exists. But I can tell you, I did not find Ms. Abeda's testimony or Ms. King's testimony credible.
All right. So her two witnesses, Ms. Aveda and Ms. King, not credible. And she's TOing it over to the state attorney's office. So I'm going to end it right there. She slams them. That slams her. That's it. Permanent injunction for protection issued. Now we're going to move on to something else because it's getting late. You would think that any normal person would be humbled by having this happen to them. Right? Wouldn't you think that? I mean, she just got her butt handed to her. I mean, a permanent injunction for protection, that's nothing to laugh about. So where we're going to move to now is we're going to go back to Moscow. More internet stuff, which is what this was. And for some reason, old Lana decides that it's important that just, what was it, Jeff, 11 days ago, something like that, recently, that she take it upon herself to figure out who's calling in noise complaints around the house there where the homicides happened. So she literally spends money, requests a Freedom of Information Act. She gets the body cam footage and reports for all the noise complaints and the officers responding to noise complaints. And she's building this case because she wants to know who's actually filing noise complaints. I don't know why. Does she think that potentially whoever is filing these noise complaints could be the actual person that committed these heinous acts? Is that what she's doing? I don't know. But what you're about to see, if it doesn't disgust you, there's something wrong with you. Because I'm going to tell you in a nutshell what she does. She doxes a lady that's a nurse. That happens, I believe the house that she lives in, based on what I'm seeing, is the house up on the hill behind that they have blurred out now. But I think that a lot of the noise probably carries up to that house. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing. But Lana, through the Freedom of Information Act, digs and digs and digs and figures out who the noise complaints are coming from the majority of the time. And it's this lady. So she threatens her. Oh, wait. Now, this is after she just got her ass handed to her for intimidating people and threatening them or whatever she actually did. I don't know. I didn't watch the whole trial. But you got the gist of what just happened, right? Now, it was just a few months ago. No, that didn't do any good because she's Lana. She can do whatever the hell she wants. She also doxed a bunch of kids, showed all kinds of video from them because she got the body cam footage, and the parents are pissed and they're coming after her. I've seen the emails. Oh, yeah. So she finds out who this lady is. She says her name, her full name, says what hospital she works at, where she's a nurse at, and then threatens that if she calls in another noise complaint, she's going to do blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. This is good stuff. Let me find it here. Oh. Hold on, guys. I got to look at my notes because I got to find it. All right. Is it 7? Oh, and this lady was involved in an accident. And this is great right here. You're going to love this. So Lana, being the detective that she is, digs into this lady's past, digs into her husband's financials, digs into all this stuff and exposes it for all of us to hear because she's filing noise complaints. She doxes this lady. She implies that this lady hit somebody on a bicycle and killed them, and that she may have been drunk and got away with it. Doesn't come out right and say, and she doesn't say it. She implies it. And any prudent person would agree that what she's about to say here is certainly implicating that alcohol or drugs were involved, but they don't know whether it was the person on the bike or the driver of the vehicle. She's looking into it, is what she says. This will disgust you. And if it doesn't, there's something wrong with you. I can tell you that much right now. And I feel bad if this lady doesn't sue the freaking piss out of her. She should. Tell you right now.
Person, and that's Cynthia.
All right, here we go.
Charged. Cynthia is chilling. Cynthia's man. Rolenta, or if you are off in that house that's not behind the parties. Because I don't believe that you are living at the Rolenta house. I think you rent.
I'm too far. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. It was supposed to be queued up to start where
tailgating for the truth. Like, y'all want something to drink about. Well, drink to them at least. Just pisses me off. Just so yeah, no, my kid won't be going to Idaho and over my dead body will my kid be in a fraternity. I won't be paying for it. I'm calling there tomorrow because they have to respond to my request within so many days. It's against the law.
So she's talking about her Freedom of Information Act, her FOIA request. They have to respond to her within so many days because it's her right to get this information. She's right.
Even if it's going to take a little longer for you to get me my supplies.
She refers to them as supplies. So her FOIA request, those are her supplies. So that she can go after this lady. That's not what you're supposed to do with these documents when you get them. She clearly signs a form that says that she won't do that. So she violated that part of the FOIA Act. I hope somebody catches on to that. I hope this lady knows that. And my suggestion, I'm not, but I can tell you right now, old Lana girl here should be in a lot of trouble for doing this. Oh, it's going to get good. I'm pissed about it.
I want that trespassing video and I want that trespassing report, and you're going to cough it up.
I want that trespassing video and I want that trespassing report, and you're going to cough it up. Like they wouldn't.
I want to go back to simpler days. Yeah. Rex, the universities want to keep this. Yeah. Yeah, they do. That's so true. I said that they had to have somebody in cuffs and arrested before school started last semester. Well, Ann Taylor's got 24 ways out of getting that grand jury indictment tossed. Things that you see mainstream media is not saying anything. I mean, they should be like, oh my God, 24, like what could possibly be these 24 things? Well, go ahead and look at the discovery and everything that she was asking for. You could break it down. And I'm actually going to do that with my members only live this month. Is I'm going to break down all the different ways that I believe that where these issues stem from, because my members love my deep dive. Oh no, bingo did not go yet, because I lied when I thought we were in September. So it starts in September, the first Monday in September. So excited. I thought it was this Monday. So that's my bad there, Mama J. But yeah, the next video and report I'm pumping out is the trespassing video, which is, that's what these guys were talking about. You know, that they're having parties. There was a party just passed on the 26th. Everyone's lighting off fireworks for 4 hours.
Oh, and you know what she does? She gets on her channel and she sends a message out to all of them that if they mention, when the police come there, if they say on a body cam that they support truth and transparency, she'll send them all free pizzas. No joke. This is all a big joke for her. I want to know, and this is what I want to know, Lana, what relevance is this almost, 9 months later? What relevance does this have to the case? I want that to be your next topic for your next show. Explain yourself. Let us all know why you did what you're about to show us right here. What relevance is it? Who the hell do you think you are?
And somebody called in and said for a noise complaint, because I'm flat out just going to put Cynthia Anderson on blast. Cynthia Anderson, if you call.
Oh, wait. This lady's name is Cynthia Anderson. So listen to this threat. And YouTube needs to be notified about this. If this isn't why she got dinked, I'm not sure why she got dinked. But if this isn't why, this should get her off the air. Listen to this.
For a noise complaint, because I'm flat out just going to put Cynthia Anderson on blast. Cynthia Anderson, if you call for a noise complaint one more time, I'm going to force the hand to say that I want to know if you are living on Walenta or if you are off in that house that's not behind the parties. Because I don't believe that you are living at the Walenta house.
Who cares? Who cares what you believe? What right of it is yours to know where a noise complaint originates and who's the reporting party? Is that your right, Lana? I guess so under the FOIA Act. But why would you even ask for it? I'll tell you why, because you're an asshole. That's why, in my opinion. You're an absolute asshole. You think you are the queen of YouTube. You're nothing. You're a troll. You're a POS. This right here makes me want to puke. These are my opinions, of course. And I have a right to them. And I know you're a litigious person. Sue me. But you need to know this. This is civil. Anything that your previous stuff, all the shit that we just showed about you, I can bring up in a court proceeding. I can use it against you in court because it shows a pattern. Civil. But you already knew that, didn't you? Jerk.
I think you rent it out. So I want you to prove to me that you are living there.
I want you to prove to me that you're living there.
That I want to know if you are living on Walenta or if you are off in that house that's not behind the parties. Because I don't believe that you are living at the Walenta house. I think you rent it out. So I want you to prove to me that you are living there. But every single time, Cynthia Anderson is the one calling on these damn noise complaints. And Cynthia Anderson, I want to put my complaint in. I want to know what happened and how you can hit a bicyclist and he dies and nothing happens to you.
How low can you go? Now, do you think that this poor lady, this nurse, this caregiver who saves lives. I have the police report. Well, I don't have the whole thing. I've got the narrative. It was an accident. Doesn't say anything about drugs or alcohol, so I don't know where she got that from. But in the accident report, it clearly says he wasn't wearing his reflective gear. It was dark. He swerved out into the street, and she hit him. Now, was he intoxicated? We don't know. And I'm damn sure not going to insinuate that he was, like she insinuates that she was. She should be sued big time for saying this stuff. And this poor lady, this nurse, I'm sure she's already got an attorney because her husband's got a lot of money and she's got a good career. You may have just pissed in your cornflakes, girlfriend.
And then all of a sudden you start making noise complaints. So did you cut
I'm going to back that up a little bit. I want you to
if
hear.
you were off in that house that's not behind the parties? Because I don't believe that you are living at the Walenta house. I think you rent it out. So I want you to prove to me that you are living there. But every single time, Cynthia Anderson is the one calling on these damn noise complaints. And Cynthia Anderson, I want to put my complaint in. I want to know what happened and how you can hit a bicyclist and he dies and nothing happens to you. And then all of a sudden you start making noise complaints. So did you cut a deal?
So I want to know, because I'm Lana and I deserve to know why you can hit a bicyclist and get away with it. So she's implying that she got away with murder, vehicular homicide. I'm sorry, YouTube. I didn't mean to say the M word. Red rum. Jeff, what do you think about that, buddy?
So is it kind of do you think that she feels that she herself, with the previous clip you showed Lana had a bad day in court, didn't go well for her, but then she sees this woman has a good day in court, you could say, or from Lana's perspective,
it didn't even go to court. I guarantee it didn't even go to court.
So maybe is there like a? So then, what is the woman's other crime that she called a noise complaint, or is it the
for some reason
extreme connecting of dots to get to?
I don't know. I don't know if Lana, and this is my thought, I don't know if she thinks that she's a student at the university or she's partying there with these kids, and she's pissed because somebody keeps calling on these kids. So she's taken it upon herself to file the FOIA request and to find out who's committing all these heinous acts of noise complaints. And she's Lana. She's going to take care of it because she's a badass. She's got a YouTube channel.
So it's like Brian Kohberger gets a back rub, and then this woman gets eviscerated or torn apart.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. But it's okay. It's okay to insinuate that the prime suspect in this case is innocent. But you're gonna imply, very good point, Jeff, by the way. So you're gonna imply, and that's what she does here, no matter what any of you think, she implies that this lady, she talks about her husband having money, so they must have bought their way out of it, or something nefarious happened. It was an inside job, and the THI is traffic homicide, so that was fixed. This lady is unbelievable. She's unhinged, in my opinion.
Cynthia Anderson is a nurse.
Oh, yeah, listen to that.
And nothing happens to you. And then all of a sudden you start making noise complaints. So did you cut a deal? Cynthia Anderson is a nurse, and she's over at that hospital over in Pullman, I believe. Cynthia Anderson was driving.
How many hospitals do you think there are in Pullman? She's over at that hospital in Pullman, I believe. And here's her name. And she's filing Noise complaints against all you kids. Go get her. If YouTube doesn't do something about this, each and every one of you, I'm telling you right now, you should file a complaint. And I'm going to say it, Lana. I'm going to ask my subscribers. I'm going to suggest that they file a complaint for this lady. I'm defending this lady. I'm righting a wrong right here. I'm damn sure going to do it. You are despicable. Who do you think you are?
Her 4x4 Highlander, whatever the hell she was driving, a Highlander.
Can't even tell
Anderson
what the lady
was a
was driving.
nurse,
A Highlander.
and she's over at that hospital over in Pullman, I believe. Cynthia Anderson was driving her 4x4 Highlander, whatever the hell she was driving, a Highlander, and she runs over.
She purposely runs over this bicyclist. I mean, she just did she back over her too, or back over him? So she ran over him. She put him in reverse, backed over him. Probably said, "Oh, he's dead." Ran over him again and went home, drinking some beers. Unbelievable. Why can she do this, people? Because we live in the United States of America, and this woman can say whatever she wants to say. I think she's going to have another awakening, because she can't say what she just said. She thinks she can. Wasn't a good idea, Lana. And you know what? It's civil. So that injunction that was just issued on you can show previous acts. Previous past acts can be used in civil court. Oh, yeah. Your ass is grass. In my opinion, of course.
She runs over this guy. And guess what? Somebody had alcohol in their system. Was it Cynthia? Wonder.
Listen to how she does this. She thinks she's a genius. She really does. Just like her famous, beautiful attorney friend of hers, Ann Taylor. She plays on words. She articulates things, and she throws some words in there to kind of manipulate things to look a certain way. Just like Ann Taylor does. Kind of odd that they think alike. So listen to this again.
And she runs over. She runs over this guy. And guess what? Somebody had alcohol in their system. Was it Cynthia? Okay. Or was it the bicyclist? Either way, I don't have, I'm trying to get my hands on that, but either way, this guy.
I'm trying to get my hands on that. Either way.
Guy dies. Okay.
The guy died.
And before Cynthia hit this man, she wasn't calling in noise complaints. After she hits this man, she hit this man in July of 2022. You guys, this is very, very close.
Hey, newsflash. Maybe she didn't live there before. Maybe she moved there after she ran over this guy. I don't know. Just a thought. Because she wants to know, and she demands to know whether she even owns the property or she's just renting it. Well, if she's renting it, there's a good possibility she didn't live there then. Lana, you're so smart. You look like a total tool. And I hope every one of you agrees she's a total tool. In fact, indicate in chat just to put a 1 on there or write tool. She's a tool. Not the sharpest tool in the shed or the box, but she's 100% a tool. in my opinion, of course.
Close to July 2022. Yes, he died. Bicycle dude died.
Okay, so this is important. So LA right here says, did he die? Lana says, yes, he dies. So I want you to look in the chat at what old LA says.
Okay. He died. Again, July 2022. Next thing you know, Cynthia starts making hella noise complaint calls. But before that, there wasn't any noise complaint calls. Cynthia was not charged. Cynthia is chilling. Cynthia's man, he is one of the biggest real estate dudes in Moscow, making buco bucks, building homes. Okay. I know all about you guys. And here it is, Cynthia kills somebody. Accident, okay? Well, I heard there was alcohol involved.
Here she goes again. Cynthia kills somebody. Accident? I don't know. I heard there was alcohol involved. Unbelievable.
I would like to know. It said drugs and alcohol were involved. Now, was it the bicycle dude or was it?
I would like to know whether drugs and alcohol were involved. I didn't see that in what I didn't file a FOIA request. But if that is not in the report, and if it is in the report, it'll indicate who was under the influence of drugs or alcohol, which she obviously has. But why is she implying this? Or maybe she doesn't have it. I don't know. She's going to find out. But if it's not in there and neither party was under drugs or alcohol, it won't be good for you, Lana. It won't be good for you anyway. I can promise you that. Because I think this lady and her husband got some money, deep pockets, and they're coming after you. Because you've already got many parents pissed off at you for doxing their kids.
Cynthia, who had it in their system. God, I'm hoping that if it was Cynthia, then she should not be, just picking up the phone and be able to call noise complaints, and she should be probably in jail. But you would think that, oh my God, like, I can imagine hitting somebody and them dying, and like I would be like, holy shit, like that would fuck somebody up, right? No, Cynthia's.
Okay, you see LA right here? LA says she was drunk. So LA asked a little bit ago, she had a question, right? So now LA, based on what this woman is saying, has just said that the driver was drunk. Good stuff right there. Good stuff.
Cynthia's choice of action after that is to just call in noise complaints all the time. Again, this was not happening before. Okay, so all these noise complaints and all these videos that I have, 90% of them come from the same person, and that's Cynthia. So,
what deductive reasoning?
Cynthia did it.
I mean, it's just as likely that she started calling, making these noise complaints because of a bad salmon she got from a restaurant before this, right? I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah. Well, we just need to go get a search warrant, get that SW filled out, and go search this lady's house and find the K-bar knife. Case solved. We'll get BK out because the noise complaint person is the one that did this, because she's just pissed off because they play loud music and have parties. Motive. We're wondering what the motive was. Bam! Lana figured it out. There you go, Lana. You are... Wow.
And this all started just as she was just interested to know who called in the noise complaints. That's where it all began.
I can't say that for sure. I don't know, but I think so. I think she wants to. She sent out a message to all the frat people having parties that if they get the police called on them, that as long as, and she'll get the FOIA request and get that body cam, as long as somebody says, Lana from Truth and Transparency told me to say this or whatever, and it gets on body cam, she'll send them all free pizzas. I have that clip. That's an opportunist right there. Great networking. Great networking, Lana. You're brilliant.
Cynthia wasn't calling them in though before then. I'll go and take a look again. But this area, King Road, the King, they put it now as like King and Queen area when you want to call it in.
Jeff, you know all about that area, buddy. You spent many, many hours on the King and Queen Road area with some video, right?
You know what's
Linda
interesting?
Lane, Linda
You know what's
Lane.
interesting too? Remember when the officer came up and talked with Kaylee on the back,
Right.
right there. He didn't say why he was there. He asked her, "Do you know why we're here?" And she said, "Noise complaint." Right?
Noise complaint, of course.
So it's like, it's not. It's kind of obvious. I think it's not like there was no noise complaint. I mean, that there wasn't any noise. That there wasn't any noise to complain about.
Hey, to the viewers and subs, I hope this pisses you off, because this woman's got like 40,000 subs. No joke. 40,000 people follow this lady. And you know what? If 40,000 of them were watching this show right now and saw all this, 39,500 of them would probably still follow her. Because that's where we are today. That's how people think. They'll still idolize her. They'll still accept her. They won't hold her accountable. They'll still send her money. I'm not saying don't send her money. Send her money. This is her job. I would never send her money. I'll never subscribe to her. If I was subscribed, I would unsubscribe. But that's just me. Let me let her finish. And then I got another really good one for you, and then we'll wrap it up. Some calls, and then we'll wrap it up.
You can't find them before August of 2022, which is 1 month after she killed somebody with her car.
Whoa. What was that?
This area, King Road, the King, they put it now as like King and Queen area when you want to call it in. You can't find them before August of 2022, which is 1 month after she killed somebody with her car. So you want to talk about me and being able to connect dots? I can do that.
I can do that. I can connect the dots because I'm Lana. I'm the greatest there is. Got my little hoodie on. Hold on. Let me get my ink pen.
You're despicable. Pathetic. This lady used to coach D1 basketball. No, she played D1 basketball. She coached allegedly, I'm not sure exactly where she coached, but somebody sent me the whole spiel. Now, I don't know how true this is. This is from my source. The entire basketball team, according to my source, refused to take the floor. I wonder why. She was our coach. I wonder why. You can all speculate. And again, I don't know. I mean, I was told this. I have the email. She was allegedly let go, terminated, whatever. You think she has a problem? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Don't want to speculate on her mental, capacity. I don't know if there's anything wrong with her. I don't know if she's just fine. I don't know. I'm asking for a friend.
So I used to feel Cynthia's pain because I thought that, oh my God, yeah, she probably just wants to go to sleep. Well, then move. You live in a college town. You know what it's like.
Oh, she's got such empathy. I used to feel for her, and it's noisy and I can't sleep. Well, then move. You live in a college town. Deal with it. All right, we're gonna move on. I want to show you one last one, and we're gonna take this one, people. This one will blow your minds. I promise you. All right. Look at all this stuff that I could be going over that I'm just kind of leaving right now. Oh, the mock trial. That's a beautiful one. Okay, here we go. We're going to move on to shaking babies. That's right. Somehow she gets on the topic of shaking baby syndrome. I wonder why. What y'all think about that? You ready for this? This is a gem.
I don't even think when people shake a child that they're intending to kill the child. When you're shaking a child, it could be a newborn, it could be a couple months, it could be 3 or 4 years old.
I don't even think when you're shaking a child, you intend to kill a child. It could be a 3-month-old, 4-month-old, 3 years old. Think about what she just said. Is she justifying shaking a child to try and get the child to stop? I'm going to play it again. It's not over, but I'm going to back it up a little bit. Is she justifying this? Is she justifying this because maybe this is something perhaps that she's done? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just asking.
I don't even think when people shake a child that they're intending to kill the child. When you're shaking a child, it could be a newborn, it could be a couple months, it could be 3 or 4 years old. But when you're shaking a kid,
yeah. WTF. Did that just happen? Did you guys just hear that? Ladies and gentlemen, did you just hear that?
I don't think that's anybody's ever intention is to kill. Okay, when you're trying to get somebody to
I don't think that's anybody's ever intention. Anybody's ever intention is what she says, to kill.
stop, crying and
Let's hear that again. I won't interrupt, I promise.
I don't think that's anybody's ever intention is to kill. Okay, when you're trying to get somebody to stop, crying and but these doctors and this
I didn't write that, but it doesn't matter. All right, everyone. I'm going to wrap this tool up, and then we're going to take some calls. And I know that a lot of you have a lot to say, because I've got the emails, and you guys have been begging me to do this. The other day when I did the other creator, everybody's like, "Oh man, I thought you were doing Lana." And I just kind of rolled the dice and I pointed to one. I didn't really know which one I wanted to do. I thought I would be fair. I really wanted to do Lana because, in my opinion, she's the worst of the worst. That's my opinion. So we're going to take some calls. Hold on a second. Let me get it set up here. Jeff, what do you think about that? What do you think about that last baby shaking syndrome comment?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Now for me, I'd want to hear more of what was said. I want to be sure that I'm hearing it in full context, but it sure. I mean, I think anybody, having been a parent, it can be rough when a child is crying, but you don't.
But to grab a baby and shake.
But you don't ever. I think it's the kind of thing. Yeah. It's the kind of thing you decide before you have a child. It's the kind of thing that you make a decision in your own mind before the child's even born, that this is just something you don't do, so that when it happens, you just already know you don't do that. So I don't know, but I know there's a lot of
away, or you pick up the baby and you cradle the baby and you give the baby love. But if you're to the point that you are going to squeeze the baby and shake the baby, you don't try to understand why somebody did that. I would try to convey to that person that you don't do that. You kind of walk away, take a deep breath, regroup.
But it's something. But I really think it is something that, well, at least I know they're all different levels and all different kinds of parents, but it's something I think you should pre-decide. I actually heard a politician that was speaking to a bunch of high schoolers that wanted to go into politics. That was his advice to them. It's like there are issues that you have to decide today, pre-decide where you stand, because as your career goes forward, you find yourself in politics, a reporter asks you a question, you should already know where you stand on things. And I think this falls into that same kind of realm. You should already know where you stand on. This is just one of those very important things.
Let me pose a hypothetical to you. If you, Jeff H., or me, John, made that very same comment, what do you think would happen?
Yeah, well, yeah, surely. I mean, it's. But again, I am one.
I would be crucified. You would be crucified.
Surely. But that's for me though. It's like I'd want to. It's not that long of a clip, so I would just want to be sure it's not possible to be taken a little bit out of context with what was intended to be said. But I don't know. I've read some other things. I list somebody had commented on about just a list of things that seem fairly damning. That was one of them.
Somebody said something about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a list of things, and I was like, wow, I don't.
Well, this stuff's been circulating around, so I mean, it was easy to find.
Yeah.
So, hey, everybody, we're gonna open up. We opened up the phone lines. The phone number is scrolling down the bottom right here. Give me a call. We can talk about it. You can voice your opinion. I mean, it's a free country. You say what you want to say. 386-287-1997. I hope this is working. 386-287-1997.
I always expect like my wife to call in. When are you coming to bed?
Disappointed.
Disappointed.
Oh, go. So what are you thinking, Jeff? I mean, about all this stuff, about the type of person that would file a FOIA Act request, use that request to dox a person that's filing a noise complaint because she's tired of not being able to sleep 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. A YouTuber with 40,000 subs gets on, not only doxes her name, announces what she drives and where she works.
Right.
And then insinuates.
And her full name, right? Was it first and last name?
First and last name.
Yeah.
And then insinuates that she was drunk and that she killed this guy. That would be vehicular homicide.
So to be like, I mean, it's like she went down a rabbit hole and then pulled stuff out of the rabbit hole to share that didn't have anything to do with the initial thing that sent her down the rabbit hole. I mean, what does that have to do at all, except that this is the person that called in noise complaints? What else? What does it really have to do with, the unaliving of 4 college students?
Exactly. What does it have to do with
I mean,
the
you know what?
unaliving of 4 college students?
What if the killer was going to go in on one of those days? He was heading towards the house and he saw the officers there going in for the noise complaint. He's like, "Oh, not today."
Yeah.
Not today.
Yeah.
And
not today.
Who's to say that this person, this Cynthia person, didn't save their lives then? You just don't know. It's totally unrelated.
You remember that was a theory, though. Everybody was asking, who's filing all these noise complaints? That's who did it. Before we had BK. When it was Jack or whoever.
It's the DoorDash driver. It's the big guy.
It could be somebody's just pissed off about loud music. So we're going to go in and live them with a K-bar knife.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like
that's where her head is.
It's almost like it's got to be something that's in proximity that's happening around the same time.
Right.
The cat. There was the cat that was in the scene on the Linda Lane footage. Must be the cat.
Right. I'm not sure if this is working. It's showing that I'm getting calls, but I'm not getting any. Somebody try and call in real quick.
You want me to try and call?
All right. Well, if no one is going to call in, going once, going twice, we're lighting it up.
Try calling in, see what happens. It's ringing now on my end.
All right.
You want to take my call?
No.
Come on.
I talked to you enough during the day.
Come on. I was going to say, right, who's the cute gentleman on the right of the screen there? Who's that cute gentleman?
That's my stud son. 386-287-1997. It's on. Somebody call in. Let's talk about what you're feeling. I know it's late. If not, we'll wrap it up. I have 11 missed calls, so sorry about that.
But I think with the whole thing of, it's the Spider-Man thing, it's like with great power and YouTube channel comes great responsibility, and you don't you just don't do that. Or you should take it seriously and Also, like we were talking about in the beginning, it's just, you're sharing your opinions and your thoughts and your beliefs, and it should come with, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. And now, granted, there was one clip where you played where Lana did say, in my opinion, just before something. So she knows how to do it.
That's the only time I've ever heard that. I mean, there may be others, but that's the only time I've ever heard her say it. And I think it was when she was getting her butt handed to her by her friend.
Mm-hmm.
On that same one, if I remember right.
Right. Yeah, I think I remember on that same night, because I was listening last night when I was driving back. I had an hour drive coming home last night, and I saw that was on. I actually didn't realize it was Bella's show. When I clicked the thumbnail, because I was driving, I shouldn't be doing that when I'm driving. But the car keeps it in its lane and, on its own. It's not a Tesla or nothing like that. But yeah, I didn't even know it was Lana's show.
Hold on a second. Hey, Texas Ranger, you've been wanting to call in. Come on, bring it. 386-287-1997.
But I think there was a
Sent
moment
me
too where
emails.
Bella was trying to make a point, and Lana kept talking over, and Bella said, if you could just let me finish my thought.
Right. No, you can't, because she's not used to that. She's not used to not having her own show, not being in control. She was a fish out of water.
The other thing I noticed too is, I guess everybody's got their own different styles, and I know how hard it is. I try to keep an eye on the chat and interact with the chat best I can. But I don't feel like when I was watching the show as I was driving and I was commenting. People were commenting with me in the chat and interacting within the chat. But it felt like it was just completely separate from the people, from Bella and Lana talking. So, but maybe that's just their
because
style.
they weren't engaged. All right, we got a call.
Call from
Pat Gordon.
To accept, press 1.
That's Texas, isn't it?
What's going on?
Hey man.
Hey man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Just sitting here listening to y'all.
Living the dream.
Making fun of Lana.
Living the dream.
Oh yeah. But yeah, dude. Man, I watched her a little bit at the first, when all this stuff really happened in Moscow, and it didn't take long to realize, man, she's batshit crazy.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, I know you didn't, John. Old Texas Ranger will say it though.
That's right. I figured you'd have something good to say.
Yeah, man. Just wait. What did she get suspended for?
You know what? I don't want to. I can only speculate. I don't know the exact reason. She talks about it a little bit. She blames it on copyright infringement or something, I think, but I don't think that's it. To be honest with you, I think it's over something like this. That's my opinion.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to go in there and ask her just flat out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do it, man. I gotta know.
Well, she's going through withdrawals right now, I'm sure. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I while y'all were going through all this, I invited all of them to come in. Dago, Rory, all of them. I told them to bring it on.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for old Rory. He's another jewel. Rory, and what was that guy's name? Sergeant Friday, who thinks what is that guy's story? If you
I have no idea.
If you listen to that guy, he's like he knows everything.
Yeah, he's the one that's on there with the Dago, right?
You know what he said the other day, bro? Swear to God.
I didn't hear it.
Promise you, he said this. He said, I hope that BK gets off on a technicality. It'll teach America a lesson. That's what he said.
Really?
Yep.
Oh boy. Well, I went in there the other day and I thought, man, all these dudes are ex-cons. You know,
You work in the prison system, don't you?
I did, yeah. Yeah.
You can read them.
And, oh, yeah. Yeah, you can tell just by the way they talk and the way they act, the way they present themselves, you know.
Right.
That other guy, I don't know what his name is, but he's on there on that panel with the Dago all the time, old dentureless.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised, you know. I didn't know anything about her getting suspended.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hadn't heard anything about it. Dude, I just wait for you or Brian or Jeff, basically. That's it. I listen to J.S. for Justice because she's kind of a hoot.
Yeah.
You know, she's down there in your neck of the woods, but
Yeah.
she's something else. But, dude, I have quit listening to all of them, you know.
You know, it's
after that little deal.
It's
with
unbelievable,
Kohberger.
man. Oh yeah, dude. It's freaking unreal what these people are doing, and they're getting away with it, man. And no one is saying anything. Well, except for me.
Dude, you know, and they're making money off of this.
That's the sick thing. And most of them are on some kind of disability. They're double dipping.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, I knew Punk Rev was. You know, I don't know what's wrong with him or anything like that, but I knew he was on disability. You know, but as far as anybody else, I didn't know. I thought Dago was a retired firefighter. Is what people said about him.
Yeah, that's what somebody said one night, but don't know for sure.
Well, you figure if he was, he'd get his teeth fixed, get him some dentures.
Yeah.
You know, but
yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, dude, John, I have got to go in there and ask her. I've got to do it, man. Inquiring minds want to know, and I'll let all y'all know what she says.
Oh yeah, you won't make it out of the show before you get banned.
Oh, I don't care. I won't lose any sleep over it.
You won't get an answer. You'll just get, are you hip with the click? Click. See ya.
Yeah, probably.
Because you know what? You go against their narrative and you're gone. It's not like here. I mean, call in. If you disagree with me, call in. I'm not going to bite your head off or kick you out of the show. As long as you don't get abusive and call my mama name or something, I'm not gonna, I welcome it. That's why I said I got an open invitation to Rory, any of them guys. Come on the show. I'm not saying it because I want clicks either. I mean, I'm not even monetized. So come on to the show. If you've got a question or a concern that's bothering you, maybe I can help you out. That's all.
Right. Exactly. Well, I mean, some of them guys, they can't be helped, I don't think. But I would love for them to come on and try to explain how they're coming up with all these ideas.
Yeah, I don't think there is an explanation, man. I really don't.
Well, to me, I think it's about money.
That's 100%.
You got people. You got people that actually do not know anything about this case.
Nope.
About what happened up there, and if somebody just was going through and just happened to find that, and they could actually believe it.
Well, you know what? You know what else is true? And I think Jeff has even said this too. You have people that just want to talk. And if you have a platform, we'll use Papa Sal for an example.
Okay.
So he'd get on, I don't know, 10, 15 times a day just so he could talk. because, in my opinion, he didn't
Right.
have many friends. He was alone, and you know, when I was talking to him, he loved me, and all of a sudden, when I left the show, he hated me. I'm a traitor. I'm this. I'm that. I mean, but he's on the bandwagon. That's it. You know, I don't know.
Well, old boy went live today. I didn't watch it, but it popped up on my phone.
Yeah.
That he was live. I don't know. And
Yeah,
he was talking
he's
about something that
talking
happened
about
2
that
weeks
escaped
ago, I
prisoner
think.
that everyone's covering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been watching Brian. Well, you know, I was on there with you and Brian when y'all was watching it the other day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's fun to
you
watch.
know,
You know,
so that's
everybody's waiting for him to get shot. You know.
yeah, that's
Everybody's
what's
waiting.
gonna happen.
But I tell you that old he's swinging from the trees because he's Brazilian and he's about 5 foot tall. And those cypress and those firs out there, they're perfect climbing trees. I guarantee you, he's not on the ground. He's up in those trees, and he's so small.
He quite possibly be.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, that's where he is.
Somebody found a big old hole in a big old hollow in a tree, and he's been climbing up in it. You know, hiding.
Exactly.
I can't believe them dogs hadn't found him yet.
Well, I haven't seen. I've seen some sheps, but I haven't seen any bloodhounds. That's what they need is some bloodhounds. I'm not saying they don't have them out there, but that's what they need.
Yeah, we had some out here at the Beto unit. That's where they trained all our dogs and stuff at, man.
Right.
They can eat and run at the same time, and they're pretty rough.
Yeah.
You know, they get a hold of somebody, it's over with.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You know, you wouldn't think, but they're a mixed breed dog.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily bloodhound. I got a bloodhound here, registered bloodhound. Ain't worth 2 cents. If somebody broke in my house, he'd probably help them rob it.
Right.
You know, but
well, I got bit right in the right buttocks one time. I tell this story all the time, but I had arrested somebody and they had canine out, and the handler got a little too close, and he was, you know, it's just the intimidation factor because the guy was resisting a little bit, and Max V was the dog's name. Bit me right in the right cheek. Man, I felt like I got hit by a bolt of lightning. And he had he had those steel canines, you know, the caps on top. Man, that hurt. My ass was sore for like a month.
I got bit on the shoulder one time.
Yep.
I was riding my motorcycle. My neighbor across the street had red bone. And I don't know how he caught me on my motorcycle, but he bit me on my left shoulder. And I was thinking, oh God, I wouldn't tell my mom. She said, what happened? I said, oh, I scratched myself. I didn't want to get them rabies shot. So.
All right, big dog.
Yeah.
Jeff, you got anything to say?
No, I'm just enjoying the conversation. This
is Texas Ranger. He's a good old boy. He's a former.
He knows who it is.
Yeah, it's Pat, right? Yeah, I see Texas Ranger in chats all the time. We always say hey.
But I'm gonna have to go in there and just find out exactly what happened, and let's see if she'll be honest with me or not.
What do you think about her doxing that lady with the noise complaints? I mean, that was
completely out of line.
That was unbelievable. After she just got her butt handed to her in a court of law by a judge.
Hey, do you know exactly when that happened? When she went to court?
I do, but I can't remember. I want to say 4 or 5 months ago, recently.
Okay, she was on there. I was flipping through YouTube the other night, and she was on and saying about owning somebody's company. That she was taking on the court. She was going to own somebody's channel, but I don't remember who it was. Of course, I didn't watch it. You know, I was just flipping through to see what all was on.
She's pretty litigious.
I only got a certain few I work, but
she's a pretty litigious person, from what I understand.
Yeah. You know, well, when I first seen it, I thought, oh, hey, maybe a little different scenery here, you know. But once I seen how she was talking and stuff, I said, oh, no. No.
Hey,
She's out of her realm.
Lana is welcome in Idaho.
Yeah.
Isn't welcome in Idaho.
But
that's what somebody said.
No. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, once everything's said and done, you know, these people that's come up with this off the wall crap, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the parents go after them.
Oh no, that's what the rumor is, that and I saw an email to confirm it. One of the parents of the kids that were on the body cam footage that she got from the FOIA recently.
Right.
Yeah, they're hot.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Are you talking about the ones that they caught drinking out in the field?
I'm not sure which one it was, but apparently it was they walked through a dorm, they did some other stuff, and it had the girl's name on the door or something. I don't know for sure. I'm just going by what I saw in an email. So I can't say this is just, you know, speculation. I'm not positive. But if that's true, yeah, you know, some of them parents, hey, don't mess with a parent, you know, especially after what just happened there. You know, you're potentially putting out there for everyone to see where your daughter is and where she's staying. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying that's what's out there. And that's not good.
Yeah, well, anything's possible at this point. You got people saying this and saying that, and you got some vengeful parents right now that are hurt, you know, and there's no telling what repercussions are going to come out of this.
Yeah, there's no telling, man. I think it's pretty sad, though. I think it's really sad.
Oh, it's sick. It's sickening.
Well, what's sickening is that they get away with it. That's what's sickening.
Well, let's hope not.
And YouTube does nothing about it.
Really?
Until you get the attorneys involved. I've got my attorney has already sent a letter. So
yeah. Is that why he's been so quiet?
Oh, you know, I'm not. You know, I haven't seen a return service on it yet. But it's not just for him; it's for two others as well. So I don't even know if he's where he normally is. From what I understand, he's not. But I don't know that for sure. All I know is the state of New Jersey. They won't talk to him. That's all I know.
Oh yeah.
According to his wife.
Yeah. Well, good. You know, I had to do that one time, man. I had custody of my daughter. I had to raise my daughter by myself. You know, at 21 years old.
God bless you, man.
Yeah, my ex-old lady, she took me to court. My daughter was already about 13 or 14 years old. She took me back to court to have set visitation. I said, that's fine. So I went in there and the judge set visitation. I said, oh, Judge, while we're at it, let's go ahead and set some child support. Oh, God. She blew a gasket, dude.
Yeah.
She blew a gasket. But I had to go through the attorney general to get it.
Yeah. But you know what? If the tables were turned, she'd come after your butt.
Oh, yeah. Well, at first I paid. You know, but like I said, I got my daughter when she was about 6 months old. And, you know, so, and she wanted to play hardball, so I decided I'd play with her, you know, and she didn't like the repercussions from it.
We're going to talk about that kind of stuff on one of my shows one night. So, all right, brother, I'm going to cut you loose. If there's nobody else out there, I'm going to go to bed. But if somebody else wants to call in,
Yeah.
I'll field another one. Hey, God
I
bless
hear
you,
you,
man.
man.
Take care. Peace out.
All right.
I love that old boy. He's funny as hell. All right, one more time. We're going to do one more call. 386-287-1997. 386-287-1997. If anybody wants to call in. If not, rolling around on 1 a.m. My kid's falling over here. He's here for my technical support. All right. That's it. We're going to wrap it up. Jeff, any closing statements?
I'm just glad you got to see me.
I'm glad you got
No,
to
but
see me, man.
No, but seriously, no, I love that. I love that statement. But I don't know. In the beginning of this, we were talking about how, I was like, I was of the opinion that, some of these YouTubers, I think, have a hatred of law enforcement, or they've had a bad experience. I think I was saying that earlier. Like maybe there's some, like I was curious, what bad experience did you encounter with law enforcement or the court system that made you think the way you think now? And then you basically you showed it to me with the situation. And
You know what else though, Jeff? You know what else? It's not just an experience. It's the media.
And it's funny because they jump all over. They jump all over the mainstream media for tainting, what people may think of Brian Kohberger. They jump all over the mainstream media, like, oh, look what they're doing. They're tainting everything, and they're, I don't know. I don't think they're doing anything really differently than the YouTubers are doing it, just a little more carefully, not on a coming out on a daily basis or a couple times a day. YouTubers can just go live anytime they want to and just start doing, the mainstream media has at least schedules, and I think they pre-edit things. I think they've got a lot of, skilled people that are researching.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe the end result to them looks like, oh, they're just trying to, string him up or something, but I think they're just presenting what facts and what information is there now. I mean, I wonder about things like what do you call it? Was it Dateline? Where they had some little things, a few couple things that they mentioned about the K-bar knife being purchased on Amazon, and that this, I guess, is from a source. So I'm sure things like that really probably irritate them. It's like, oh, you're not. That's anything that's really damning, because they, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the strong desire. What? It's not that different from politics.
No, it's not at all.
It's Republicans and Democrats fighting, and it's like, Republican could have a great idea. A Democrat was like, no way. Republican or a Democrat, I just found the cure for cancer. Oh, keep it to yourself. We don't want it. It's coming from the other side.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know what it is. That's the side they chose. It feels like, and it's pretty clear how strongly they feel about it. Now maybe they would say the same thing about me. Oh, you seem pretty convinced that the guy's guilty. It's like, well, I don't know. Just looking at all the evidence. If you ask me right now, but the thing is, I think like all these YouTubers, you can think of them as like, these are potential types of people that will end up on a jury, and
that's scary.
And it's
scary.
That's what they'll keep them deliberating for like days and days and days, because you got one person that's I wonder, makes you wonder if when they're picking the jury, it's like one of the questions. You have a YouTube channel by chance?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
We talked about
Okay.
we talked about this before, and I've said the same thing. That's the sad thing about this is it only takes one. This case could have $5 million invested in it and run for 3 or 4 months. Everybody's slam dunking, and one person doesn't have enough. because that's where we are today, and that's the bad thing about DNA. So the only thing I don't like about DNA is you almost have to have it to get a conviction today. You know how many cases I worked without DNA? 90% of them. But that's not where technology is taking us today. They think they watch too much TV and CSI stuff. I can't watch those shows, man. I can't watch them because they're unrealistic. They're crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that way. Now, some of the stuff does, but most of it's very unrealistic.
I think one thing I find interesting is that you can have people that have been told 10% of the picture, but they're 100% sure what happened. And
right.
And I think even I don't know all the facts, but of the facts I know, it puts me like leaning towards this way. And then the rest is all imagined. Now I got to imagine what that footage at 1112, the light bulb camera, I got to imagine to myself what that captured. And that camera is kind of like the Watchman. It's like a watchtower for that.
It's over top of everything.
It's like if you
you've even got an open gateway right there. The railings walking up. It's like it's open. It's perfect.
Yeah. There's nothing blocking it. Like in the Linda Lane footage, you got all the trees and this is like you can only come in one way in a car, and you can only go out one way. And this Watchman is going to see both ways. That means it's going to see the front of your car. It's going to see the back of your car. It's going to see the lack of a license plate on the front. It's going to,
Is that a thumb drive or a DVR camera? Do you know?
It might be both. It might have a disc in it and a DVR type of system as well. I don't know. That's
the first place you see them canvas is they make a beeline right for that thing. And if you look at all the footage, you see that officer going up those stairs.
Yeah.
Pointing to that camera.
It's too bad they didn't have some on the house where all the awful stuff happened. I mean, they could have.
Well, now they're going to.
Yeah.
I guarantee if you drove through that town right now, there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Somebody probably made a fortune on the security there. Everywhere. I mean, because of this case. This case is going to change a lot.
But I think the unfortunate thing, if you look at like the light bulb camera, the still picture that was leaked, if you look at the license plates of some of the other cars that are parked in that, those things just glow like white. So I'm thinking we're not going to probably see like the license plate, what it is on the back. Maybe
but you know what we are going to see? We're going to see his profile. And I think that's why Ann Taylor brought up facial recognition. I don't remember when she did it, but she brought it up. And it was kind of a nonchalant thing that she said. It was talking about case law and facial recognition. This was months ago. I think that she knows that they have, this is just speculation, that they have video of him in the car and facial recognition has nailed him. It's put him in that car. That technology is amazing.
Now, how's that work
a lot of your retail stores now, the organized retail crime portion of retail stores has facial recognition. So if you're in Miami stealing from stores in Miami and you come up here and you're stealing, it'll recognize you and it'll automatically send it to the HR and LP and they'll start looking at it and they'll put cases together.
Yeah. How does that work with this discovery? Like if do they have to let Ann Taylor know that they have this footage that you're like the way you're talking about?
Yeah.
Or she has to see it?
No, there's no surprises. That's why they have discovery.
So they would watch it. Yeah. Both
there
sides.
There would be a description of what the video has, and then they would get a copy of it.
Because I tell you, if it's anything like the Darrell Brooks case, which I can't believe that just didn't end the moment they showed him that profile behind.
That judge deserves a medal. She was.
Oh my gosh,
amazing.
Nobody more patient than that.
All right, everybody, I got to wrap it up. Thank you so much, Jeff. I want to thank my mods. Mindy, Kelly, Diane, Patty,
Great
did
job.
an excellent job tonight. And thank you so much, everyone in chat and everyone that watched tonight. Hopefully hopefully everyone understands why Crime Analysis 101 is doing what it's doing. As a team, we collectively have had meetings on this, and everyone's in agreement. No one's patronizing me saying, yeah, you know, we're going to do it because you want to do it. There was a couple people on the fence at first, but now that they see how it's gone, they're fully on board. And so if anybody wants to email me, it's detectivejohn68@gmail.com. And I am reading the emails. I respond. And even in chat, I go in and I respond to a lot of the chat too. I try to get everyone. So appreciate you guys and ladies. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. I'm going to be in Las Vegas next week for world championships for softball. So I don't know if I'm going to put something together while I'm out there or not. Actually, one of my mods is out there. Her and her boyfriend live out there, so we'll go to dinner. And anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank you so much. God bless. Jeff, you want to lead us in a prayer?
Oh, man.
Put you on the spot again.
Put me on the spot. Well, the last time you put me on the spot, some cool stuff happened.
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right. All right, Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for this time that we had to do this technology that we have to do this, all the people that that came by and shared this time together with us. Lord, I pray that you always just keep a close watch on all that we do, and make sure that, you know, we're trying to right wrongs. We're trying to bring awareness to things that need awareness brought to them. And Lord, just be with all of us and the mods and those that are you know, having any struggles or suffering. Lord, I pray that you just make them feel your presence and know that that things will work out okay. And if it's a big struggle, that just to know that that we're all here for each other. And just thank you, Lord. Just thank you for this evening. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. And I cursed a few times tonight. I think I said the A word. I apologize
You're finished.
for that.
You're finished then.
It was a pray for me, Jeff. Yeah, make sure Kathy doesn't say disappointed. I know she'll be disappointed in me. All right. Glad y'all got to see me. Glad you got to see Jeff. Till next time. Peace and love.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody.